Thrushmore. It's a quiet town in southern Ustalav on the banks of Lake Incarthen. Hardly a memorable thing about it up until recently. The city's citadel fell silent. The guards all disappeared. Then, of course, there was that business at the asylum. The accountsmen showed back up. They're an odd bunch, enforcers and performers. Researchers, magical scholars. And the new man with them, too. They were sent in there by the Count, though he's disappeared these days, too. He abdicated his throne, left his manor atop the hill. Who knows what fate Thrushmore will face now? But I have a feeling these folk have a steady hand in it.
Welcome back, everybody, to the town of Thrushmore, where our party finds themselves, well, we honestly don't even know where half of them are at the moment. Scattered to the four winds. This thread unraveled and it's in splayed all across the town, almost as quickly as we arrived. Each of us have found some connections to our pasts and to our lives here. Some of us have found new connections that we weren't exactly excited for.
Yeah.
It's been a day of discovery, to be certain, because it has been barely, if even, a full day in the town. Before we get too involved in the new things here in Thrushmore, I want to briefly pause this to talk about some new stuff that we've got with the UGT show. Both new, none of it's entirely new, it's just stuff that has returned, stuff that has changed, stuff that is way, hopefully, better now. And both of them start with P. The first was the podcast. Remember we had a podcast way back when? And I think Quest for the Frozen Flame was the last one that actually made it to a podcast. Because I do not know how to run those and do not know. I've never listened to a podcast in my life. I know absolutely nothing about that entire genre of existence. So it kind of just fell off. We brought it back. And now if you search the UGT show, Undeniably Good Time on pretty much any podcast network, you should be able to find it. Not only with all of the old content, everything was on there before, all the Age of Ashes, the couple of seasons of The Hook, but now too, with this new adventure in Strange Aeons. I'm not sure if Malevolence is on there. I don't know 100% of the details, but we're working on getting everything on there as we can, and then, of course, everything going forward will be there as well. Podcast is back, baby. You can just use the digestible audio version of the show that we've been lacking for so long. And if you want even more of these adventures, even more Strange Aeons, Malevolence, just general shenanigans with all of these people, we have revamped our Patreon as well, which I will admit has sort of fallen by the wayside because I didn't really know what to do with it. Way back when, we had some tiers with rewards, like getting to name NPCs or add NPCs entirely. But as that's a difficult, recurring monthly award because it's hey, new month, give me a new list of names, everybody. And then obviously after everyone had submitted their 94th name, bad months would literally nobody responded. And I was like, I need better stuff. I didn't know what to do. So how about bonus content? Now, over on Patreon, we've simplified everything. It's just one tier now. It's just one, I'm pretty sure $5 tier that you get on, and you get all the bonus content we produce, which at the moment is post shows with the crew, the aftermath of every episode of Strange Aeons and every episode of Malevolence. Every episode of Strange Aeons Season 2, obviously, because we just started doing this. We do not, in fact, possess a time machine to retroactively go back and do it for Season 1.
So we think.
We've been
Yeah.
We're working on that.
Ready.
We're trying to get there. Yeah. So we got bonus content. We got the podcast back. And we've got a bunch of stories to tell around this table here, and I've got a villain point. It started off from saying Fox 10, I believe puts me up to 2 here. That's cool. I'll hang on to those. There's going to be a fun surprise tool that'll help us later. So, I think we know where we have to start with this. Because it's the cat, obviously. We got to start with the tail of the cat.
There
It's
needs to be an explanation.
We had an explanation. We talked about
It
this last
cannot
week.
be a coincidence.
It's
How
a
often?
fishing village. They're
It's
everywhere.
the same cat.
You don't know that. Cats
It's-
just sound like cats.
No, cats actually have distinct
They do
voices.
sound very different.
Okay,
yeah.
then don't
I'm
say
aware.
something. Don't
But-
say something stupid.
Don't say something you're going to
Oh, the
regret.
cat
Scientifically
defender
proven
has
that the
logged
cat
on.
can
Okay.
have
I have
accent.
3 cats.
Give us cat lore.
Yeah. And I could tell which one's meowing at all times.
Last week, we split up. Cami and MD went to a tea house to go meet with an old friend of hers that was a rather interesting set of revelations.
I would like to take this time to formally apologize for
For being the bad guy.
for who it turns out I am.
Trey had decided he was interested in investing in a better weapon and some armor because it's clear, with even what you've seen this first day in Thrushmore, that whatever you're embroiled in is not over. But two of your stories right now certainly started
Wearing these to a fight
a
is
bunch of
not
pipes.
It's
fun.
embarrassing. That's so last season.
Two of these stories started a little before that. As when those 3 had awoken this morning, 2 of you were already gone. And they found some hints as to what had happened to the pair of you. The story of Marius's evening, it's rather grim, it appears, as they had found what certainly looks like a victim of, we'll go with circumstance. We'll give you benefit of the doubt for now. No one was there. Nobody saw what happened. But he was certainly stabbed with your clan dagger, and we know that because your clan dagger was still left behind at the scene, with you nowhere to be found. And EZ,
Also grim. Equally grim.
EZ was much more direct, that's for certain. You had awoken in the middle of the night to a knife at your neck and a figure escorting you out the window of your bedroom outside. We'll start here for right now. As you climbed out through the window, this cloaked and masked figure still keeping you at knife point, as they motion for you to close the window behind you. You have no idea what's going on. You were jumped by a bunch of unruly figures in the streets just a handful of hours before, pretty recently. But this does not look like one of them. They were wearing fairly shoddy, ill-fitting armor. They had simple knives. They just looked like hoodlums. This figure is clearly kitted out with something much more elaborate. The knife is well made. You can see a fine rapier at their belt and several other sheaths on a bandolier across their chest and a belt around their waist as well, with more blades, small pouches, and the armor is clearly much more well made. It's properly fitting. It's well cladded and treated leathers rather than just shoddy hand-me-downs and something to put between them and an aggressor. This is, I mean, it's not inherently unrelated, but definitely not similar in immediate first appearance.
Professional.
Professional. Yeah, that's a good word to describe it. Very much more adept at this. As you get outside, not even given a moment to grab anything or dress. In fact, I think we even established barefoot last week by the footprints they found.
There were some grippers out.
Who is this that we are meeting today outside this little cottage while the rest of your party sleeps?
Easy. Also otherwise known as Martin or Twopenny.
Got a man of many names.
Many names. Yeah, a lot of friends and enemies in town. Got jumped yesterday. Just a regular, normal, average bar. Just having a rough
With a
week.
surprising amount of enemies.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I mean,
a lot
the
of
average
critics.
bard.
That's fair.
Yeah, just having a really rough week. Got interrupted in my beauty sleep. Just trying to get through to Monday. Is it cold out? What season is this right now?
This would be kind of the transition, much as we are now, late summer, early fall. So here in Ustalov, it's not nearly as temperate as the Florida, which is where we are. So it is probably a bit chill.
Ooh.
Maybe around 60 outside with a light breeze blowing in from the bay. The lake nearby making it a bit consistently cooler here than it could be elsewhere, perhaps. So it's not like biting, but it's probably a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially with bare feet.
Yeah.
And I got just like boxers on and like
Oh,
a t-shirt on. just in pajamas. Like the sleep mask is up on my forehead still.
Sleep mask.
It's just a bandana.
Of course.
Yeah, it
he
is. It
does.
is just my. It's a mask. It's a bandana. But yeah, I'm just really uncomfortable. But you know, fans. I've been kidnapped by a fan probably before. You know, this is.
It's just another Tuesday night.
It's a small
Surprisingly
town.
unperturbed by the situation here.
What color are the boxers?
They're
Is
the
it
white
Fruit of
ones
the
with the red hearts.
Fruit of the Loom or Hanes? What are...
Fruit of the Loom.
Oh, okay.
No sooner do you get out and get the window closed and turned around as this figure grabs the collar of your shirt and pushes you back against the wall next to the window and puts the knife right back up to your throat.
I'll give you an autograph if that's what you.
What happened?
I don't know. A lot of stuff happening. It's been a crazy week. Could you be more? I don't know
Looking
anything.
up close here, they've got a mask drawn up over their nose and a hood up over that. You can't see much more other than a pair of what look like pretty angry green eyes in the moonlight staring at you.
Okay, I'll be honest. I went to rehab. I went to Briarstone for a week. It's been rough. It's been a tough week.
Briarstone?
Yeah.
What the hell were you doing in Briarstone?
I had a bender.
You don't go to Briarstone for drinking too much or a night on the tavern. What happened, Martin?
Okay, I just.
And the blade of the knife kind of presses into your neck a little bit. You can feel it start to cut a little bit into the skin.
We found the knife prints.
Okay, I lost all my memory. I really don't know what happened. I got shipped over there. The cat was involved. I don't know what's happening. Some weird stuff happened over there. There's like zombies and like there's like this space monster that came in, and there's like a book that makes you go to Dream
Stop.
World. It's I don't know what's
What?
real or not.
Are you talking about?
I don't even know.
You lost all your memories?
Yeah. I don't even know where my house is. I'm in this random house. How did you even find me?
And they move their hand and tap on this tattoo that you have on the side of your neck.
What? I don't even know what that.
And they let go and pull down the mask for a second. And she reveals her face. Pretty pale, got freckles kind of run across her cheekbones and her nose here. Rather narrow face. And you can see by the blonde hair she's got kind of come down the side that's sort of bundled up under her hood behind her. What do you mean, no memories? Like, nothing? Like,
I don't know. They checked me in. I was talking like this weird language. I wasn't even talking common. I was speaking Aklo.
how am I supposed to know what that is?
I don't know what that is. I got a case file in the house that explains some of it.
Do you even... And she just kind of looks at you, like, more confused than you are at this point by the insane story that you've
I
told
got
here.
jumped today. It like really hurt. I got like a bruise on my ribs. I don't know. It's been a rough.
What's my name?
I don't. Have the bit.
She reaches up with the glove hand, just kind of like puts it over her face. How did this... Okay, I can't ask you how this happened. Is this some trick? Are you playing with me, Martin?
No, I mean maybe the Count played a trick on me.
I don't think that the Count's an idiot. He's not wiping anybody's minds. He couldn't pull a cantrip out of his arse if his life depended on it.
Maybe that's the book I was telling you about, that weird book that makes you go to Dream World or something.
What?
There's a it's called the Chain of Knights.
Shut up. And grabs your collar again and leans forward and just kisses you on the mouth.
There it is.
Told you.
How dare you pretend that we had it wrong?
I didn't.
Yes!
And as she
Wait, you're
does,
not going to reenact the scene?
Come here, kiddo.
There you go.
Yes!
As she does,
Told you he was going to be speaking tongues.
you. That's actually really good. I can't be mad about that. Wow, that's incredible.
Straight face.
You've been holding out all week, haven't
Oh
you?
my
Yeah, I said it
gosh.
to her. I whispered while they were talking.
That's why I was like, oh my, this is the best meet cute I've ever seen.
As she just comes in, you do remember something.
Feel their
This
lips.
kind of triggers something in your mind. And as whoever this woman is kisses you right on the lips, your mind suddenly goes back somewhere else. You're walking right out of the stain. You're dressed up decently well, but your jacket, your shirt's a little askew. You got a bit of a stain down here. You look a little bit plastered, is what I would say. You got a pretty fancy hat sitting up on your head, almost kind of like a black leather, like a miniature tricorn, sort of, with a bright blue feather sticking out of the top. And you are laughing it up. Your arm around another guy who's a little bit shorter than you, who is in something close almost to like a play costume, with like a pleated shirt, a bright green jacket, and he's carrying in one hand a round-headed lute. And he's sort of laughing a little. You're clearly having a way better time with this than he is, as you kind of lead him out the door. And you're like, no. I'm telling you, Thrushmore's never had something as good as you here. It's like the thing you did, that and you just, as you're walking, kind of pointing down at his lute. We can't stop just because they're at a meet here. No, there's another place. We gotta go to Silver Wagon. Come on, man. And he just kind of nods. And he's a round-faced fellow without a whole lot of hair up on his head, almost that little Friar Thomas ring kind of going on. He just kind of chuckles. Well, thank you, Martin. I think it was. He seems like he's a little uncomfortable, but you're pretty direct. And as you're laughing it up down on the road, having a good time, leading this guy out towards another place, you walk a bit down the road, and then you turn and you're like, oh, no, we gotta go all the way around. Let's go through here and turn down an alley between a couple of buildings. You lead him a little ways down there. I'm telling you, man, it's that thing you did with the two strings on there, that the sound it makes. And you look away from him for a moment, a little bit down the alley, and you see a figure just sort of leaning against the wall, casually, wearing exactly what this woman here at the cottage was wearing. And as you get a little closer, you use your arm and just kind of push him forward towards her and stand up and straighten your jacket and your shirt. And as he stumbles over, she steps forward, fist balled, and just socks him in the gut as hard as she can. He coughs, goes to double over. She puts a hand on his shoulder, another one around his neck, and just pulls him up and holds him there in front of you. Well, you just kind of step up, reach around to her waist, fingers tap on the hilts of a couple of the knives she's got in her belt, and just pick one out and put it in your hand. It's a pretty good performance, what can I say? Problem is, I need this, you know? These guys here in Thrushmore, these guys at the Stain, they're coin, their entertainment. This is, you sort of touch yourself on the tip of the knife. This is what I do. This is what we do. No, competition's not good for business, really. You're a pretty good singer, I'll give you that. And you reach out and tap him on the lip with the tip of the knife as you say that. So I'm gonna need you to go somewhere else, okay? And the dude, as he's getting choked by this girl here, he's panicking, he's struggling, he can't really say anything. He's like, come on! If you can't give me a yes or no, I'm gonna do something a little bit more drastic, you know? And nothing. He can't talk. He can't breathe. And you're like, oh, okay, fair enough. Hey, give me his tongue, babe. And she brings the other hand up, puts her fingers on the sides of the jaw, and forces his mouth open as you stick the knife in and stick it through his tongue, cutting it out of his mouth entirely, and with a spray of blood, just throw it on the ground. As you do, she lets him go, and you immediately pull your leg back and just send it right up in between his. He doubles over on the ground, crying, sobbing in pain, choking on his own blood. As she just looks down at him, you just kind of stand there with the knife and wipe it off on the back of his shirt. So I'm not gonna see you in Thrushmore again, right? That's good. Got a good deal. You can go. And you put it back in her sheath as he kind of struggles, looking in shock at this tongue on the ground to try to get up and run away. And you straighten yourself up again and look up at her. She has this big smile on his face. And you two go right together. And then in an instant, you're back outside the cottage. That same situation, that exact transition here. She's pulling back from you, her eyes kind of narrowed. At least pretend to enjoy it, you know.
Whoa.
So did you go to the damn moon?
No, but we were a good team. You know, our methods were a bit intense. But I'm just remembering when we cut that guy's tongue out in the alley. That was a lot. Huh?
I had to be a little more specific than that, I'm afraid.
Whoa, several times.
I don't know what's just worse. Is Cami's or is Easy's worse?
Hey, we still got 2 more to figure out.
She's still
a lot
It
of
got,
only gets worse.
she's still got the knife and she's still holding on to you, but she doesn't have the blade at your throat anymore. She just kind of has the knife in her hand. Butt of her palm just kind of up against your shoulder. And we'll get to that in a second. So, you don't remember nothing, then? You certainly got something going on there.
That was a little something, but I still don't even know your name.
Reese?
Reese. Okay. It's gonna be a little bit.
Sit down. And she just kind of like takes a step back and like it turns a little bit, rubbing her fingers on her brow. The universal, what the hell do I do with this emotion? Sit down.
Okay, yeah.
She sticks the knife back in her belt. I don't even know how to take this or what I can even start to do. How do we fix this? How do I fix this? How do you fix this?
I don't know. I mean, the kissing thing worked. Try that again.
Response. She just rolls her eyes. Well, you're certainly still Martin. That's positive. Okay. Well, no. Hold on. This is it's like a damn fable. You lose your mind, and what is it? A strong emotion, a strong memory, or something? Is that?
Yeah. Maybe I could be in mortal danger. Maybe we can rob somebody.
You were already in mortal danger. If you didn't remember me, you certainly thought you were.
We just gotta do things I used to do. I don't know. Apparently, I used to be one of the counts people.
She
I
just
think.
kind of smirks.
I don't know. Like, what? Or did you also work for the count? Did we work for the count, or were we our own thing?
And as you're talking, she walks over, turns around, puts her back to the wall, and just slides down the wall until she's just sitting on the floor next to you.
The blood prints.
I mean, I guess not exactly. I don't think you were. I don't know. No stuff with the count matters. That wasn't what was important.
What was it for?
A lot of other things outside of that. You don't remember why I came here or how we met or...
How's your week been this last week?
He just kind of like hits you. He just sort of like hits you on the shoulder.
Ask her to kiss again.
I gotta figure something out. Okay, if it's things you used to do or things you cared about, I'd like to think. Strong feelings. I have an idea. Come on. And she shoots back up, offers both her hands down to you, and pulls you up off the ground. We're going to the warehouse.
Sounds fun.
And leads you literally by the hand like a child off
It is boxers.
in your boxers,
Barefooted.
down the road. Which,
It's cold outside.
These rocks.
while you're experiencing whatever this is, you're not the only one getting fragments of your past back. You're not the only one remembering a little bit of who you used to be. You sat inside this tea house, two folded leaves, near sort of central Thrushmore, is a pair of figures in one of their private little booths, and even a curtain drawn across the front for just a little bit of seclusion from outside eyes. It's a quiet, small place. On one side of the table is a woman with her dark hair pulled back in a fairly large, intricate braid, kind of wound about with some almost filigreed silver ribbon and a teardrop ferroniere upon her head, with simple but well-kept clothing and some blood running down from one nostril across her lip. Across from her is a figure entirely. It looks very different.
Different. I feel like this figure would look different in almost every situation or collection of people she might find herself in. You would see Cami, an itty bitty 2'3" gnomish witch, a little lizard crawling up her head, a stunned look on her face after the revelation.
He is certainly not the only one who is remembering things right now. But the hero point from Lil Levick, easy, no message attached, so I'm just going to assume it's for the Riz.
Hey, dude.
Surge of speed. Swift winds will guide us to victory.
So many jokes I could
Dude,
make with
stop,
that, but I'll
please.
just leave it to your imagination. I'll put that as a DIY one for the audience. But
Not fun if we explain everything.
Cami, these names, the titles on these hero play cards have been consistent bangers.
Dude.
Sitting across the table from Malison here, you have your hands, I imagine still just kind of sitting palm on the table. She's got one over in yours and one kind of up to her face. All right, give me a moment, but
No,
Let-
yeah, you take some. You could go.
let me try this again.
Oh, we're going again.
I hardly got anything.
Oh, that wasn't a lot. That felt like a lot. Okay.
Edelmay, your entire mind is like a castle, walled and impenetrable. There's just a little around the edges, just in your most recent memories of things that you can even access at all. There's so much in there. It's the entire life. What did you remember?
Just now.
Did you remember something?
No, yeah.
I felt something.
Yeah. So, like, who was that guy that we had?
Oh.
Like, I kind of look around. I was like, and I kind of like show her my gun a little bit, and I've got like the patch. Like we had all this stuff, right? Don't tell anybody about that. We had all this stuff, and there was a gentleman present, and he wasn't doing so hot.
And while you're talking, she pulls out a small, like, really ornate, like, frilled handkerchief and just holds it up to her nose. He was no one of import, I suppose. Just a subject to test. We were...
Okay.
We were trying... You were trying to learn more about how we feel. More specifically, how we experience feeling and how that could be adapted to be something greater than what our minds are meant to access or meant to experience. It was important, Edelmay. It was something we need, something we still need. I think you were right. I'll admit, I may have been a little dismissive at the time, but...
That's really understandable, actually, honestly.
Let me try again, if you're willing. Do you feel okay?
No. I put my hands in her.
Okay. Now, again, clear your mind, but this time, you've been around town. Have you been to... Don't focus on distractions.
Sorry, I didn't...
Have you been to any of the stelae?
The what?
The small little monuments. They're stones, maybe.
Oh, like the tower thing.
I suppose
With
to
the
you
yellow
they,
stuff on it.
they may be.
Oh, no, it's got a name. That's awesome.
They've the insignias upon their sides, yes. Think of that. Focus on it. Clear your mind of all else. I'll try to help you understand. But just think only of the stelae.
Okay.
And she closes her eyes and tilts her head back a little bit. And for a few moments, nothing happens. And you close your eyes, kind of squeeze them shut. See in darkness, not feeling anything. When you open them, it's kind of peek. You're looking around a different room again.
I close my eyes again. I'm like, no.
You are looking from the center of what almost looks like a cathedral. A massive chamber. And you're standing next to one of these stelae. Looks near identical to the one you saw outside the High Market, and near identical to the ones you had seen in Xandalus's drawings. You see figures in a circle around you, all wearing near identical cloaks, clasped with silver and yellow bangles and hoods drawn up over your heads. You see yourself.
Oh my gosh! Ah!
You see what must be yourself near the front of the circle. Pretty easy to pick out. Very small compared to most of the other
All
people
these
around
other
you.
cloaks.
Wouldn't that be hard to pick out?
Standing right, well, you're in the front. Standing right next to one very large hulking figure in an identical cloak. You hear little, save for what sounds like the faint music of a violin echoing through the chamber. You see yourself not through your eyes, but from the center of the room, and you look down next to the stelae, and you see that same figure from your last vision, the man in the chair. His eyes rolled back in his head, still gagged, arms and legs bound. And you see Malison standing over him, her hood down with the same robe, a knife in her hand. As she chants something, one hand on the stone, kneels down, closes her eyes, and plunges the blade into his neck. He has no chance to cry out, no chance to scream, nothing more than a gurgle comes out from him. It's silent for a moment, save for this ephemeral violin quietly coursing through the room. And you can feel the anticipation
and then you hear a thud, and you are snapped back into the tea house as Melison's head hits the thing.
Oh gosh! Oh no! I like lightly try and slap her. I'm like, oh
Tiny baby hands just.
no.
Oh,
Are you okay?
yes.
Hey, listen. Let's take a minute. Let's take 5. Let's take 5. Why don't you go to there's a bathroom or something, and you can take a minute. We'll and get you cleaned up or something.
What happens?
Well, you killed somebody. We were around the stele. Something was about to happen.
That's a scene that we've played out a dozen times and a dozen more by now, I'm afraid. But it hasn't worked yet.
Oh no! I'm just.
But we're
Okay.
close, Edelmay. We're very close.
What are we trying? Why? What are we trying to do? What-
I don't even know how to begin to explain all of this to you, given your lack of mind and your lack of memory, but just here. I need to tend to something.
You go take a second.
I'll find you again later.
Okay.
We'll discuss this, but for now, if you find yourself with free time, if you can, head to the stele in town, any of them. Really look upon their surfaces. Edelmay, look at the ruins. Think back on them. Focus.
Is it that important?
You were the only one that could read them.
Why? Oh gosh. Okay,
You
no,
know-
sure. I'll go read.
What they do. Maybe they'll bring back more within you, but I don't think I can be of much more help right now.
No, you
Overexerting myself isn't going to help either of us.
You go take a second. I think we all need to take a breather right now.
I'll find you later.
Okay, I'll find you later.
Stay safe, Edelman. If there's anything else you can remember, try
I will.
to
I'll
cling to that.
I'll stay safe. As soon as she goes,
And she is,
I'm booking it over to MD.
she is going to pull back the curtain, and she is going to get up and head out. Like, she's leaving the
Yeah.
tea house. And you immediately get up and run over to another booth where another figure is sitting. Who do we see here?
You see, this is 6'8", naturally large orc with these ritualistic scars on his arms, just hunkered into this little booth that's probably not size for a man. His little teacup, just drinking his first cup of tea since he can remember. His MD, everyone's favorite orc.
You see him with this almost comically small little porcelain teacup in his hand.
Relaxing.
I bust into his booth and
I don't even
sit
imagine he
down.
closed the curtain. Did
No.
you? You probably just opened like any.
And I sit down. I'll be like, okay, listen.
Try some of
listen.
this.
No, a lot of. Okay, yeah, I take it like a shot. I look at
It is very hot. It's like near boiling.
Listen, listen, there's a lot going on right now. And screw it. I'm gonna pull out my file. And I'm going to slide it across the table to MD.
Oh.
I
Okay.
didn't want you guys to look at this before, because I didn't want to get left behind, in the asylum, but after, and with what I know now, that seems to, I mean, it's still concerning, maybe
And
be the least,
As
I don't want you
MD
to,
opens and starts to look through Cammy's patient file, we move over to another place. Another building in the town near the north side, near the tree line, where Thrushmore fades into the thick woods around the lake. Where out in front of a haphazard smithy situation, next to a squat and singed but long little building, a man waits.
Technically a man.
Man-ish.
Man-ish. Hobgoblin-esque, you might say. So, man from here down, shaved cat from here up. It's about, like, where this is your average man.
How is that the worst thing we've heard today?
What does that mean?
Like, you know the naked cats?
Oh, okay. No, I get it. I guess.
Because
Hobgoblins do kind of look like the
I
naked
just hate
cats.
it.
Yeah.
Hobgoblins unironically look like
You can hate it, but he's
Persian
not
cats.
wrong.
I love Pathfinder 2 hobgoblins, by the way. They
Yeah.
look so neat.
They do look.
I
It's
get
a
it now.
really cool
That's
design.
a
I
good
do like the
description.
design.
I just
But
don't
it's
like
It's the
not
most
wrong.
apt cats. It's the most
It's
apt
incredibly
way that I
accurate.
have thought to describe a
Fair enough.
hobgoblin. Tall, 6'4", built, very athletic, not hulking man of muscle, but definitely large and could pack a punch. Wearing haphazardly put together pipe armor with a big old coat over it. You have Trey the Hobgoblin.
And as you wait outside this building, you hear the handle of the door at the smithy rattle. You hear it rattle and a thud of wood as the door kind of jostles in place. It rattles again. You hear a little voice swearing on the other side. And the door flies open inward. You hear some tumbling and crashing. And then a small little figure. A little green guy about the size of Cami with an extremely, almost like ballooned spherical head that looks far too large for his body. And curved down, pointy, droopy ears.
So, hey, Arnold.
Not wide, just like big sphere.
Okay.
Looks like a bobblehead, kind of. Comes
Oh gosh.
tottering
Oh
out
no.
with a thick brown leather apron on that the front of it goes all the way down to his feet, where it looks like he's just kind of hacked through a bit of the bottom of it. Not cleanly with a knife, so it wouldn't drag. Back of it, definitely still dragging a little bit
The back
behind
doesn't
it.
matter.
Totters out, reaches up, and just grabs the sign that says out on the front of the door and pulls it off. And turns
The sign?
that you
says
says
in.
in because you flipped it over and you drew in on the back, right? He goes up and grabs it and pulls it off and looks at it. And then he looks out and he sees you. He's like, "Oh no!" And flips it back out, puts it back on the door, and slams the door.
Gonna walk over to the door and just knock on the door.
It's closed for you. But if there's anyone else out there, tell them they can come in.
Just gonna knock again.
No! Closed! Like, not open! Bang bang, do no more work for you!
You haven't done any work for me in the first place. I just got here.
You again hear the door handle rattle, and the door just kind of jump in its frame again and starts like, stupid door! As he yanks
Just
on
gonna
it.
push it.
It is pretty stuck, but you are pretty strong, and you push it, and it flies open again for bang bang, hanging on the back, and you again now see him kind of crash into the wall behind it as he gets it open. He pulls himself up and totters up and just stands right in front of you, shoulders up, arms out, stance up little goblin that barely comes up to your hips, if that. Just looking straight up at you, which I can't do because the mic is down here, so pretend I'm doing this. But
Just get down like this.
It's a mini version of Trey.
Yeah.
they are both goblinoids. They do look similarly built, just one is very
He
scaled
has
down.
the same size head as Trey does, just on a smaller body.
No, I am tired of late bills. I am tired of no payments. I am tired of commissions with nothing. No more.
No more what?
No more anything. No more business for you. No more business for countsmen. But no more business for you. Most importantly.
What did I even order?
Bang bang, going to stab you.
I'd like
And he
to see
turns
you
around and walks
try.
in. Bang bang, going to stab you with it. I show you. And he goes back in.
He's perfect.
And he waddles in. You can see the inside here is I'd call it a showroom, but a showroom designed by a goblin. so it's a little bit of a mess. There's knives and swords literally just stuck point first into the wooden tops of tables. There is what amounts to a display rack on the wall of a couple of farming scythes and woodcutting hatchets that are literally just stuck blade first into the wood of the building's wall. He is.
Hey, I mean, that'd be great if it didn't cause like a lot of rusting.
And you can see that there are a lot of wood scars across every surface in here from things he's put in the past.
It's convenient.
But he's got a little counter, and on the top of the counter, you can see there is the only actual display rack that he's got. That he surely didn't make it himself like he did most of the other stuff in here, because it looks kind of nice. And it's holding up, what is it exactly? So it's a spear thing.
The breaching pike.
Yes, it's a breaching pike, but I've remembered a lot of things going into this session, and what a breaching pike looks like specifically is not one of them.
A breaching pike is a spear with a hardened steel triangular tip intended to pierce shields.
All right, it's just got like the wide point. I couldn't remember what made it different. It's got like the super wide.
It has a hardened steel
head.
tip.
Exactly.
Just
and
like that.
So it looks almost like a partisan kind of.
Yeah.
Is what it comes like to me. And it's sitting on a rack, and he's got a little piece of wood that's not exactly square. It looks like it's had about a corner of it singed off. That just has "sail" scrawled on top of it. SAEL. Sail. And it has 50 gold crossed out, 40 gold crossed out, 30 gold crossed out, 25 gold is what it says right now. And he reaches up and he grabs it, and it's hilariously large for him. He grabs it, kind of teeters a bit, turns around and sort of tucks it under an arm, and then just sort of walks up forward. He's walking at you. You doing anything?
No.
Bang Bang comes up. He's trying to stab you with it.
When he goes to do that, I'll just stomp on it.
He's going to make an attack roll. He's very much not trained in this weapon.
And I'm wearing my armor, so.
He's perfect.
Yeah, it's going to be a decent roll. It's going to be a 16 to hit.
No.
Nope.
He's going to go to do it, and I'm just going to stomp on it.
You just kind of step on the tip and put it down, and you, like a seesaw, you put the tip of this down, Bang Bang goes up off the floor for a moment before he comes back down. This stupid piece of crap Bang Bang can't sell to anybody. Nobody wants stupid hobgoblin weapon.
Not taking my foot off
Pulling
of
on
it.
it.
I'm just looking around, looking at this.
Why'd you try and sell it for?
And just looking at
Because
the
you
prices.
never came back to pick up commission, never even paid payment, said you were good for it.
How
And
much?
Bang Bang's stupid. Bang Bang not learned fast, but Bang Bang learned this time.
How much?
And he just sort of looks over and points at the thing that's supposed to. For you, double that.
I'll be back in about an hour.
And
Just take my foot off it.
as you do it, as he goes to pull, and he just like tumbles backward and flips over with the thing, almost like pole vaulting, ends up on the backside of the counter as this thing crashes
You're a
across
menace.
the table.
Yeah.
Trey's a menace.
I love him. He's so
I don't know which is worse, Trey or Bang Bang.
And just ignoring him, I'm going to leave.
Back in an hour, Bang Bang.
You better have coin, and this last time. Bang Bang, take your coin, but then you banned.
Just going to wave him off, open up the door.
And take off outside. Bang Bang not close, he does not want you.
Is the door like stuck? Like is
When
it
it's
just
closed,
clearly-
it does not fit in its frame very well
Okay.
anymore. So the frame's a little broken. So when it closes, it gets a little stuck, and it's just kind of hard to open again.
Then I'll just yank on it, take the sign, put it on the nearest object, and then leave and head off to the tea house.
And as you step out of the door there, we're going to swing back around again to the journey of EZ. It's having a very
What's
different
happening
evening.
in the warehouse. Ask me to kiss again.
We're having three extremely different stories unfold here.
Well, this one had Bang Bang. That one Bang Banged her head, and this one's Bang Bang as well.
Yeah, lots of
And
bang
the
bang.
stream. That was so good.
That was actually great.
That's the best. Oh my gosh.
One-liners today. Oh man. We've had two goblinoids fighting over payment. We have whatever's going on in the tea house, and we have
Speaking
Bang Bang.
tongues.
So speaking in tongues. You
Multilingual.
Reese
I hate it here.
leads
I'm being held against my will.
Reese leads you down the streets to the island where you would, to the larger island, the two islands where you had first landed, the docks, the piers outside, and leads you over towards the dock houses and the warehouses. There are a lot of these fishing warehouses and storage facilities and little fishmongers markets and everything like I first described when you arrived. What, Tully?
Well, their ship name could be Easy Reezy.
Ooh.
I just realized that. You just said it. I couldn't contain myself. That's all.
You looked like you were very proud of something, and I felt like it had to come out.
That's so good.
I'm proud of you.
Easy. I'm sorry. I'm so invested.
Wait, wouldn't it just be Reezy?
Easy.
Well,
she-
yeah.
She's Reese, so you'd be Reezy.
Reezy
Yeah,
Easies.
Reezy.
Reezy Easies.
Easy's Reezy's.
Reese's Eases.
This is the rest of the show, guys.
This is
Let's
life.
keep workshopping this.
If you saw my first run of Strange Aeons like 10 years ago, history is a flat circle. Time repeats itself. We're back to Reese's Pieces, boys. We haven't gone nowhere in 10 years. Anyway.
Reese's Pieces is
See-
a prophecy.
She takes you Reese's Pieces. It's unavoidable. She takes you.
Prophecy has
I
fulfilled.
can't.
Time is a flat circle.
It's like someone left a little trail of them, so you end up in the same spot.
Yeah, it was footprints.
There's an insane energy in this episode.
There wasn't the last
Catapulting
one.
from each of these scenes.
And we'll get to you. I'm sorry. I
Oh
know
my
you're kind of
gosh.
sitting in the corner with your sick makeup on. Literally, she leads you around to a warehouse that's sort of in the back. And again, as I described when we first arrived in Thrushmore, this looks like there's a lot of infrastructure and buildings to support much more than what Thrushmore currently does. And it looks like Thrushmore is not exactly at the high point in its arc. And a lot of these warehouses, a lot of these facilities are unused or completely derelict. She leads you up to a building that's moderately run down. It's still intact, but the windows are boarded up and over. The back door of the warehouse is completely boarded up and nailed shut, and the loading bay doors on the front end are the only available means of ingress that you can see. As she brings you around to that, a figure steps out from the alleyway next to the building. They're wearing what Cami would recognize were she here is exactly the same cloak that she had just seen in her vision. With their hoods down. And Reese lets go you for a minute and steps over to him and just kind of leans in, whispers something to him, and then turns her head as he says something back to her, and she just nods. It clearly points back at you and does a little roundup gesture with a finger. Listens to him again, and then just nods. And he heads back in the alley, and she moves over to the loading bay door. And just grabs it with both hands and slowly creaks it open just far enough for the two of you to fit inside. You squeeze in. She pulls the door back shut behind you. Pulls out a little piece of flint and lights a torch from a rack that they have near the door. Brings it around and uses that to light a couple of glass lanterns that are hanging up on the walls. And you can see that while clearly abandoned on the outside, there is a decent amount of stuff that's being stored on the inside. None of it's fishery tools or goods or crates or anything. It is an odd assortment of things. There are some casks, there are some crates of what look like fine tailored goods. There is what looks almost like a small, this is going to be the weirdest description I've ever used in my life, but like a cross between a gramophone and a calliope machine, if that makes any sense at all. It's got like the big curled horn, like projecting horn, but the front of it has the the wheel that reads the nubs on the paper and hits the little things. But it has a set of strings, almost like a piano, more than just a bunch of little bells like a xylophone. And a bunch of other, what are clearly just sets of personal goods. A lot of stashes of strange, what looks like inks and various candles and chalks. But the main floor of the warehouse is pretty empty. She walks inside and just sort of crosses her arms and looks up at the ceiling for a minute, back towards you.
So we smugglers? Is that what we do? Is this our hideout?
We did a lot of things, Martin.
Bet.
Sourcing supplies is certainly one of them. Okay.
It's a nice place you got.
And she turns back around and looks at you. Come here. And puts a hand out. She turns your wrist so your hand is up, and she puts her hand in yours, and puts her other hand around your waist. She's like, come on. Do you remember waltzes at all? Anything?
I mean, I'm sure I could pick it up.
Hold on.
I've been playing the violin. I don't know if I
She
used to
steps
do that.
over to this little gramophone calliope thing, pulls off whatever's on it, puts on a little rack next to it, looks through a couple of things, puts something on, and spends a second just kind of winding it through the machine and winding it up, and then lets it go. And it almost sounds like a piano coming out of it as it runs. She comes back over to you. I hate this.
This is some 50 Shades of Grey romance.
They're dancing.
Do you know how terrible these people are? Dancing doesn't make them better.
She puts her hand around your waist again. She's like, put your hand here. Hold mine. You have to do this backwards from what I do? Okay. So
You'll lead, I'll follow.
I don't know how to lead this. You're the one who taught me this.
Probably like riding a bicycle.
Okay, hold on. Let's just listen to it. So it's in threes. So you're going to lead with your left foot.
This is cute. Shut up.
1, 2, 3. And she steps back with her right. Back, side, together. Front, side, together. Back, side, together. Just keep it in the square for now till it makes sense. And you have the most awkward couple moments of waltzing here imaginable. But you kind of start to settle into it a little bit. She's like, okay. And then you lead, ass, or the man. You can sort of turn it a little. You can move it around. I want it to stick right here. It's not a square dance. That's what you told me anyway.
So are we selling these fine tailored goods? Because I could use some new clothes.
Half of this is yours.
Oh, okay.
Anything coming back?
I mean, I'm learning how to dance better.
Okay, but that's not memories. I'm teaching you that right now, idiots. Do you remember anything? This
No. Maybe we should. Should we mug someone? Because that works.
so on board for that. Shut up. Look. All right, hold on. And she just like physically kind of pushes you away a bit and walks back over, towards the stuff by the calliope, and starts digging through a box of things. Where's it? Where's your stupid hat? And she pulls out that same hat that you saw yourself wearing when you came out of Stain. Well, give me a minute.
Was I a hat guy?
Give me a minute. I will stab you.
That might bring.
I would say you know I will.
You stabbed me before.
She closes her eyes and she puts the hat on. And as she does, you see almost kind of like rolling down a wave from her head. Her hair, that's kind of blonde and just sort of balled up in a big bun on the back of her head just to be out of the way, transforms to like big, flowing, elegant curls that fall down to her shoulders. The leathers of her armor are replaced by this dark blue, flowing ball gown that goes all the way down to the floor. And she looks... I mean, the hat is a little weird, but she looks otherwise like she's ready for some noble gala, a proper ball. And she opens her eyes, and from this emerald green, her irises have turned to a vibrant purple. And she steps back up, puts her hand back out. You know how hard you had to beg me to do this?
The haircut looks nice.
I'd hope so. And you go back briefly to these steps, this waltz around the room, her dress now kind of swirling around you as you move. Anything at all? Any memories? Nothing's going back.
It's nice, though.
And she takes the hat off and just slams it into your chest. Take your stupid hat. As soon as she takes it off, she immediately, almost instantly snaps back to how she looked before. Take your stupid hat. Okay. I don't know what to do with this. We steal things and stab people. I don't know magic and brain rot.
Maybe we should steal things and stab people.
How important is for that?
Like for old time's sake, you know?
What's wrong with you?
A lot of stuff, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember.
You always were strangely more into things afterward. It's a little weird, but you're still you in there somewhere, that's for sure. Look, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix this, okay? But I know someone who might. Let me go ask them. Oh! The play. Do you remember the play?
Is that the one with the frog?
No, not
Oh.
your stupid tavern song.
Okay.
No, the play that you were orchestrating. That we were going to. You wanted
sounds
to
fun.
perform. The one that you wanted to. Your backup plan. If nothing else, we just leave, forget Thrushmore, forget the Count, forget all of this, go somewhere else and fall back on that. The King in Yellow.
That sounds like a good name. A little spooky.
Spooky.
I just had a bad experience with people. There's these cultists dressed in yellow, and
That's.
they tried to kill me, and it was
I
it
don't
was
even
in
know where to start with you.
Firestone.
Okay, and she just
Okay.
puts a hand over your mouth. Stop. Just stop for a moment. Let me think.
Tell you about my week.
Oh my gosh.
I love him. Let me ask some people. I don't really know what to do.
I mean, we don't have to rush things. We just hang out. I don't have to like be full memory immediately.
It.
I mean,
You don't even know who I am. You don't even remember us being together.
BC?
Because I told you that 10 minutes ago.
Okay, when's your birthday? I'm working on
If
it.
anything, that'd be a point into favor of you remembering who you were. You having to ask me.
So,
Martin,
when's my birthday?
I'll be in touch. And she
Wait,
just
mine.
reaches out. She just reaches out and flicks the tattoo on the side of your neck.
What is that?
I can come find you.
Is this track? Is this a chip? What is this?
And she reaches into her pocket and pulls out a flat little rock. It's just a plain gray stone, but there's a carving in blue on its surface that is exactly the same as the tattoo you have on the neck. You're the one who asked her to make it. You really don't remember anything. Your mind's like a outside of an egg. It's just smooth and useless.
Well, you know, well, is that like communicating? Can we talk through that?
No.
I'm gonna be on
But
the
we
other side of
can
the room.
talk by Martin.
Okay.
Oh, it's taken every single fiber of self-restraint I have not to punch you in the face.
Maybe that'll bring something back.
And she's gonna do it. She's gonna punch you. She doesn't punch you in the face, but she does punch you dead center in the chest, about as hard as she can, and just gonna give you
And it's hollow.
Just like
the
his head.
inside of the easy is in fact empty. You're gonna take 7 points of non-lethal bludgeoning damage. She hits you
That's
pretty
a lot
hard.
for
Hey,
Equals out
hitting
here.
the solar plexus does not feel good.
Yeah, it's gonna knock the wind out of you. She hits you pretty hard.
I like that you're rolling with the dice that you said kills people.
Could you
Non-lethal.
imagine?
It'd knock him out at worst.
Could you imagine one-shotting him with an accidental punch?
More
like that?
friendly
All right.
fire.
More
Get
friendly fire.
out of here. I don't know what to do with this, and if you really don't remember anything about what we're doing, I don't even know what I can safely tell you.
Do I have a house?
I pulled you out of one. You can go back to that one, I'm sure.
Okay. So we weren't like cohabitating.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not. Well, I mean, we were both staying up at the hill, but I mean, not like. I mean, most nights, yes, but we weren't like.
Okay.
Look, your friend's up at Bang Bang's stupid smithy. Go find him.
Okay, I was also gonna go to the Sleepless Agency and like try to find out some stuff. So I'm working on myself.
Be careful with them. I would not. You know what?
I wouldn't
Actually,
trust them.
go right ahead.
Okay. Is that
But
is
go.
that something that you're saying like I should do, but you're gonna get
I don't
mad?
know what I even can and can't tell you right now, Martin. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know where to begin. I don't know what you think. I don't know where you are. I don't know which head you're thinking with right now.
I'm gonna put on some clothes. I'll be.
Use this hat, stupid.
I guess. Yeah, I can do both. I guess. But like, once I take the hat off, I'll still be. It'll be like a dream. I'll know that I'm like.
And she just goes back over to the crate and just pulls out a jacket and throws it at you, and pulls out some pants and throws them to you, and throws a belt your way. And there's some fairly nice leather shoes, and she's just like tossing stuff across the warehouse out towards you. Everything in this stupid box is yours. Just grab whatever.
Still fits.
Please.
My man is giving her a headache.
This is what role-playing a himbo.
This is the most confusing Riz I've ever seen.
I take all of that, and with this wheel from Saiyan Fox 10 here, a pretty fancy hat that she's handed you there. That's pretty clearly a little more than just a hat.
It's a magic hat.
It's a magic hat.
Magic
Tool I will
hat.
work with.
Go find your stupid friends. Don't have them poking the noses places they shouldn't be trying to find you. Okay? Go. I'll figure this out. I'll
Okay, I guess it'll
need to talk to Melisandre. Just go.
track me.
And she'll just push you out of the warehouse.
Okay.
All the clothes kind of in your arms. No time to put them on.
The walk of shame.
And then shut the door behind you.
He's gonna show up in completely different clothes?
He's going to show up.
Okay.
in different
No, I'm
clothes.
just making sure. I'm just taking a note. I'm gonna write a big old Sully was right. Right here.
I was going to fit in perfectly to the story thing.
The head
Yep.
cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, back at the tea house, MD has been handed a file. A file that Cami has had for some time that he's now finally getting a chance to look through.
You can take a second if you want to.
Well, there's a lot more in your file than there was in my file. My file said it beat the crap out of anyone who came into the room. Yours is saying, don't attempt interactions alone. Do not transfer from solitary ward. You did magic while you're unconscious. And you adamantly, you tried to say something to people who were near you, but no one knew what it was. Sound like you belonged in an asylum.
Oh, I was afraid you guys would say that. That's.
But this was Edelme.
Yeah.
As far as I've known you, you haven't acted like that once.
Yeah.
Well, there was one time when you were unconscious and you did do a lot of weird magic. We told you about that, though.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt us a lot.
Oh.
So it's got you in a panic. Why are you showing us this now? Why are you showing me this
Well,
now?
because listen, there's a lot of stuff I feel like that's about to come out about me that's really not. I don't want you to hear anything from anybody else at this point. I could be a very large part of the problem here that we've been having. Like a seriously large part of the problem. So Edelme was not cool. Okay, actually, she was kind of cool, but
I'm not going to lie to you.
but that's why I gotta tell you this stuff, because I'm kind of afraid of how cool I think she is, to be real with you. So Melisandre, was showing me visions of what happened before Briarstone, and amongst like a bunch of other bad stuff and weird torture stuff. And maybe human sacrifice. I'm so sorry.
Can I get you anything else, dear?
You
Say something before you come in.
I'm sorry. Your privacy curtain was open, so I was just offering.
Oh my gosh!
Thank
I just
you.
throw it shut.
Right.
Did you?
I just open it back
Throw
up.
it shut in her face.
whatever you brought me before, 2 more of those.
Yes, I'll get them swiftly. Sorry if I bothered.
She's a little eccentric right now.
I'm fine.
Well, always eccentric, but a little more than normal. Just close the curtain.
What's the strongest
Thank
stuff you have?
Magic Academy, thank you for the raid. Welcome to We All Learn Horrible Things About Who We
Oh
Were
my
in Our
gosh!
Past.
I mean, I've had a memory of standing over a murdered corpse.
This was like really culty. Like I listen, man. I just said I did human sacrifice. Let that sink in for a second. This is bad.
And
Multiple times.
Your folder's still just kind of on the table here.
Yes.
And you see your blue just kind of appear on the table, just sort of staying next to the folder. And he reaches up with his little chameleon hands, his 2 little fingers, and just is trying to pick up the cover of the folder. It's kind of hard. He's a little lizard.
Pick up
sort
the
of-
cover
What
for
is it,
him.
boy?
He opens it, he just looks at you. And he walks on the paper of this file. One eye looking at MD, one eye kind of looking
He's
at
adorable.
Cami here. And moves to the top of the page and just points with his little chameleon prong at where it says Edelme, your patient name, at the
Yes.
top. And as he touches it, you see his skin start to shift as he turns from blue to pink,
He's evil now.
standing there. He touches it. He just looks up.
I thought you were gonna speak now. I was kind of scared.
And then he pulls his hand off of it and just walks over and puts one little hand on you as he turns back to blue. And just 2 little snaps.
You're not Edelme,
Oh.
right? 2 is yes. Yes. I'm learning how to talk to the lizard.
And he climbs back up your little jacket.
I might be different in a lot of ways now, but some of these things are still affecting us. Like when I pass out, I guess, and start magicking you guys, and apparently, by the way, those towers in we saw over at the market called Stellai, I'm the only one who can read those, so that's cool.
Well, what do they say?
I don't know, I didn't read
Oh.
it yet.
Fair. Well, what do you want to do? This has you spooked.
I'll be honest, I never expected this to go so well. I kind of figured that when somebody read a file about me and everybody else's was normal and mine said, don't attempt interactions alone and don't let her out of solitary and lock her up, that, that it might not go as well.
I've known you for my entire recent memory. That whatever's in that file isn't who you are right now. If you start acting like that, then we have a problem.
That's fair.
But until then, what do you want to do? Do you want to tell the others?
I want to go read the Stellai.
All right, then let's go read the Stellai.
And prepare you
To go tea.
to go cups.
Take another shot
You,
of it.
you're gonna not even have a tongue anymore. That's already
Just
happened
guy.
once.
Yeah,
though.
just like the other guy.
You head out of the tea house and turn down the road, heading back towards the High Mart. And you don't make it very far before you hear a groaning noise coming from an alley between the buildings as you walk past. Not just a regular groan, it's someone calling out to you specifically. And you see just, I imagine, covered in dirt and grime, disheveled, just piled up in this alleyway amongst some crates and barrels. Who exactly?
I'm Marius Greyfall, a very ghoulish now dwarf ranger. Just kind of waking up after a very rough night.
It is 4 p.m.
Very rough.
Just
night.
clarify.
So early right now.
Oh, what's that? The sun's just coming up?
He thinks it's going the other way.
Yeah, can we snooze for a little longer? MD.
As soon as I see Marius, I'm gonna walk up to him, grab him by his, if he's on the ground, I'm gonna pick him up and just one good punch to the face.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, what?
And he would look much worse than when you last saw him. He hasn't looked great recently, but something has clearly changed.
I wish that punch wasn't the worst part that hurts.
Dude, you can't do that. I can't fix that with him.
You know, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Do you have his dagger?
Do I have it or do you
I
have?
handed it to you.
Okay, yes, I do.
Oh. Oh god.
I
Okay.
just unsheathed the dagger. You see this?
Yeah.
Covered in blood.
And it's like just congealed and matted now along the blade.
I let
Has
you
not,
clean it.
clearly has not been even wiped.
Yeah. Well, thank you, but also I'm sorry.
You don't apologize to me. Winter knows.
Oh god.
Yeah, you did a very good job covering up the scene.
Things kind of just got out of control. I didn't want to do that. That wasn't really what I wanted.
Doesn't matter what you wanted to do, it's what you did do.
Are you full now?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I've been kind of like positioning myself between.
I'm like a little chicken wing.
Like peeking around MD's legs here, like,
yeah.
I
Just a little nugget.
I think I'll be okay. You know, last
think or do you know?
last night was, you know, I'm a learning experience, and suffice to say I hadn't really eaten for a couple days at this point, so I lost a little bit of control, but I promise that won't happen around anybody else. That I wasn't trying to hurt anybody, but you know, I was I wasn't going to try to hurt anybody who's alive. But I was in the graveyard, and I didn't think anybody was around, and the groundskeeper just surprised me.
Well, I got two things to tell you. If you ever become a threat to the other three, I will stop you. Number two, next time kill someone no one will miss and dump the body in the river.
Yeah. Like I said, it was bad. I was going to try to be clean and careful, but then I just started hearing other noises, and I had to run away. And
I'm kind of like grab a piece of dirty cloth off the ground and throw it over his head. Hide your face. You're
I'll
ugly.
take off my jacket.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
Nah,
clearly.
I'm hot anyways. It's cool.
You're fine.
I'm very much not myself, obviously.
Yeah, no, you don't look it, so you gotta cover up. I just like.
I'm not happy about this. I'm dead, basically.
Yup.
It's a
Yeah.
lot to deal with, and
You're going to be dead again
Yeah.
if Winter sees you walking around, especially looking like that.
I'm sorry. I will control myself. I will do everything I can, and if I feel like I'm a danger to you, I will leave. I will not hurt you, I promise.
Well, he promised. Let's snatch your jacket and just throw it over his head. You are very ugly right now. You will spook a lot of people.
Yeah, I know.
That's coming from
Glad
me.
somebody
Got
said
it.
it because
Just kind of like wrap some, fabric around me, kind of give myself a mask. Just can cover up most of me.
kind of cover Marius as well as you can. The Bang Bang shop. Trey heads out the door, having tossed the sign inside, hung it on whatever he could reach. As he heads out towards the road, as we said a little prematurely last week, you see a figure approaching. It is a friend of yours, just walking down the road, dressed up in fairly nice clothes that you've definitely never seen him wearing before. Just coming seemingly here towards you and towards the blacksmith.
Morning.
Convenient timing. Come inside.
Okay, where are we going?
Point right back at the blacksmith shop.
Apparently I owe him some money, and he made me a weapon.
Okay. So like, oh yeah, I'll pay for it. What is it?
As easy as right, there's nothing in these pockets. It's clothes you pulled out of a box. But as you're looking
not even
through
a 20.
to see if there's any you got like a 20 tucked in a shirt pocket or something here. Down this same road, as it's the one that passes the High Mart, 3 more figures would approach.
Whoa.
As Marius, MD, and Cami, making their way towards the other side of town, would see Trey and EZ just standing in the yard outside this blacksmith. EZ again, dressed up fairly well, clearly searching through all his pockets, trying to find something.
He's not wearing the same clothes he was last night.
Shouting down the street to them.
I found him.
I was like, did you have a good night, Easy?
I bet he did!
Oh, also, and it's kind of got Marius.
You found him.
Found him.
Oh, Marius
Well,
was gone too.
He found us.
He didn't even know.
Where was?
Oh, shoot.
He was gone too.
He went out for a nice little midnight meetup with a lady lover.
How do you know about Reese?
The evidence was all on the wall.
It was everywhere.
Handprints.
But
If
pretty
you, yeah,
people
it was,
walking
it was
off.
obvious something like that.
It was news to me.
You don't have to give us the details, but
Sounds
we'd love to. You have a wife?
We had very different
Not a
meet
wife.
cutes.
Oh,
We were co-hab.
you were cohabiting. That sounds pretty serious.
I think she knows you all. So I think we're all friends.
I got good news
Well,
for
why
you.
didn't she say hi?
I threw Winter off the trail a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
later in private.
Winter knows stuff.
So
Just kind of
Marius,
hold up his hand.
do we need a different
And
name?
as you catch up the two here on the events that each of them had missed for the previous day, you guys got a good pile of cash from Clade's stash back in the asylum. I'm sure somebody has money on them. You have your money on
Yeah.
you.
I didn't know
So-
who had it.
Just
We
because
split it,
someone's
yeah.
got it for
Well, we
sure.
split it evenly between the two of us to carry, and I just never took it out of the pack.
So the group of you
I couldn't remember. who
could
had
step
it.
back in, and Trey could introduce you to his friend that he met up with here.
Who wants to
Bang
meet Bang Bang, my best friend?
Me?
Oh,
I want to meet Trey's best friend.
Reese knows Bang Bang.
And as you walk inside this storefront, I guess thankfully to his scant decorations, there is a decent amount of space for the 5 of you to fit in here. It is mostly open, just with weapons kind of stuck into the walls and the tables. And
I'm basically walking
Anything.
right back in after I said I'll be back in an hour.
pretty much, it's been like a
Hobgoblin
handful
time's
of minutes,
different.
maybe. And as you come
Bang
back in,
Bang. It's been an hour.
he just pokes his head around the counter in the back. Now you went and got the goons! Oh, okay, that's what we're doing. That's how it's gonna be.
I don't
No,
like being.
I got the money.
He steps back out and he's just got a knife in his hand.
And I'm just pointing at MD.
I brought the money.
Pull out the rucksack and just shink.
It does jingle pretty hard when you put it down. And he kind of totters over, knife still in hand, and then picks it up with his other hand and totters back over behind the counter. And you, the counter is taller than him. So as he gets around behind it, you see him clearly climb up on something back behind the counter, so he can get pretty much just his head up over the bar of the counter. And he puts the rucksack up there.
You're
and
pretty used to
puts
that,
the
aren't
knife
you?
up there
Hey, no.
and climbs all the way up on top of the counter, finally putting him kind of at eye level with Trey and MD here as he undoes his little pouch and looks in. Bang bang count.
Take your time.
1,
You mind if I look around?
2, 3.
Yeah,
I'm content to
Gotta
sit
make
here
him
and
lose
watch.
count.
Yeah, I'm gonna something like 4, 7, 8, and 3.
10.
You're waiting for a process. It doesn't
Well.
seem like it's going to be incredibly fast. You just kind of look around the shop, browsing for things. And Bang Bang's got more than just weapons. He does seem to predominantly make things that stab and cut people. He seems to have a bit of an affinity for, sharp objects.
Goblin.
Looks like the majority of what Bang Bang produces in here. But that's not it. He does have some suits of armor. The chainmail that he's got doesn't look great. The rings are pretty thick and wrought and unpolished. But you can tell that regardless of their appearance, they are very sturdy, actually. It is, it's well made in a way that counts. It's not going to look pretty, but it is absolutely going to do its job. He's also got some plate pieces around as well for something even heavier, and scaled mail to put over the top of a leather jerkin or something also. He's clearly the only blacksmith in town who is just kind of here to make stuff that kills people or prevents you from getting killed. Bang Bang's got a type. Bang Bang knows what he's about. But as you're looking around here, you hear the door handle kind of rattle a little bit. The door just kind of jostling its thing. And he looks up from his coin. Push hard! Door's stuck! What was I on?
17.
And the door just kind of rattles again. Kick it! If you have to kick it! Bang Bang fix door someday! 17.
Might as well restart.
The door still just kind of rattles in its frame.
Trey, can you get the door?
And you hear it get hit a little bit, kind of weakly, as someone doesn't really feel like they want to destroy the door.
I will go over to open the door.
And you pull and yank it open and see a woman standing there. She is got her head down and a hand up on the side of her head. Her outfit is in terrible condition. You can barely even tell what it once was with how shredded and absolutely caked in dried mud it is. It looks like she just crawled out of a freaking swamp. Her hair, her skin, much the same. You can see as she just sort of stands there. She looks up at you. Her eyes sunken down into her skull.
Malnourished.
Yeah, very, very much so. The iris is almost just a stark white. Murder. And she looks around the room until her eyes fall on MD. Murderer! Murderer! And she pulls her hand down, and you can see that entire section of her head is gone. Her skull, from the base of her ear to the center of the top, is completely destroyed. Looks like it's been absolutely caved in and caked over with mud and dirt. As she locks eyes with you, MD, we're going to take our midstream break.
Wasn't me.
We're going to stand up. We're going to stretch our legs. Feel free to grab some snacks, get some drinks, and we'll find out who this woman is when we return. It's going to be about 10 minutes, so don't go too far. We'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. As we left off before the break, a new guest has arrived here at Bang Bang's Smithy, also called Bang Bang.
Bang banging
And
on the
our
door.
party of would-be heroes here, the 5 of you who have just been forced into basically every situation that you've come across so far. None of you signed up for any of this. Not even a little bit. Let's go around briefly and reintroduce all these characters before we head back in. Starting on this end, we'll just go around.
Marius Greyfall. I'm a ghoul dwarf ranger.
We can just say ghoul now. We can use the G word. We're in there.
I am playing MD, our large hold-scarred orc. I finally said it. I've been trying to...
Hardsguard.
Yeah,
It's kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah, hold-scarred orc rogue.
I thought you were looking at him. I thought you
Oh,
were switching up the order.
No, I was looking at him because he was
Yeah.
to see how he was doing. Sorry.
Howdy, I am Derp, and I play Trey, the Hobgoblin frontline fighter.
It's a big boy.
I'm Sully. I play Cami, the itty bitty gnomish witch.
I'm Kevin. I play EZ. I am a normal human bar.
Average.
Regular
average
guy.
normal, even
It's an average
Martin.
guy with completely average riz.
Just 18
It's
charisma
very
average.
actually average.
It goes
Rose.
up and down.
As we
Oh, that's terrifying.
left off, the group of you were in Bang Bang Smithy trying to settle a debt that Trey apparently had with this goblin blacksmith. And the door opened to reveal a woman who looked like her skull had been caved in. And as she looked across the smithy and saw MD and locked eyes with him, moving her hand and revealing this horrific, grievous injury, you remember her. You remember what happened to her. You remember dragging her out into the yard. One hand just in her hair, one hand on the back of her shirt. Dragging her out head first and slamming her like a battering ram into a tree. And as her face crashes against that and she drops down to the ground, already clearly very bloodied and begging, you just pull back and land a huge orc boot in the side of her ribs and knock her over. Why are you here? What are you looking for? And she, at this point, just curled up on the ground, cowering and crying, doesn't really say anything. So you kick her again, squarely in the stomach, knock the wind out of her, and she's just at this point wheezing. Nothing here for the Sleepless Agency. I don't want to see a single one of you up in Iris Hill again. Do you understand? Do you understand? She, again, just begs and pleads, and it just pisses you off. You're angry. You don't know why this just sets you off like it does. But you pull your foot back again, less back, this time more up, and just slam it down, stomping on the side of her head, and you feel it crunch down, and immediately she stops writhing. You pull your foot back up and just yell at her again, "Answer me! Do you understand?" Absolutely no response. She's completely motionless. Your boot, the ground around her, completely just soaked with her blood. You kind of stop, breathe for a second, look down at her. Damn it. Damn it. Ugh. What do I do with this? Damn it! You turn around and head back in from where you came. And you're back here in this room. That same woman now staring, glaring through the door at you. Absolute hate in her face. I need everybody to roll me some initiative.
Can I roll athletics for opening the door?
Good effort, but no.
Gotta
Good
ask.
effort.
I'll take it.
I'm gonna roll a different d20 for this fight, but okay, I'm already here. I'll start with her. She got a 33.
Yeah.
It's a big number.
Easy.
12 plus 9, 21.
21. Cami,
12 plus 9, 21.
who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Trey,
24.
24. MD,
Rolled a 4 plus 8. 12.
Marius,
16 plus 10, 26.
26. So was that also what you got?
24.
Gosh, I was critically succeeded all of
If
all
it's
of
okay
you.
that I go first.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
I just said it.
And
I
she
didn't.
looks
No, you got it. You're the
Okay.
boss.
She looks
Thanks, man.
across and calls out again at MD. Murderer! Murderer! And then she just shrieks an absolute ear-piercing scream that seems like it shakes the world. It's not just deafening, it's almost blinding. It sends all of you reeling. I need everybody to make me a will save.
I'm gonna go ahead and play Cut Through the Fog.
Ooh, was cut the fog.
Play before you attempt a will save. You succeed the saving throw without needing to roll. I gain Stupefied 1 until I sleep.
Okay. You're stupefied 1, but you're a little focused on her. You remember her. Marius.
19.
19 will fail. Trey.
17.
17 will fail. Cami.
Rolled a 1. I'm using a hero point.
Good idea. I would definitely do that.
Oh,
I rolled a 4. I'm using my other hero point.
Can I reroll it once?
Oh no!
Can't reroll a d20
Okay.
multiple times.
Okay.
the panic is setting in.
Yeah, dude. Then that's a 13.
That will critically fail.
Oh boy, your bones are gone.
I'm gonna use 0.2 because I rolled an 8. It could be better. Okay, it's a natural 20. So
All right, you'll critically
did
succeed.
better.
31.
Let me figure out which
So,
one of these is.
Our regular success, MD, you are frightened 2 on a success. Our failures,
Was this an auditory or visual?
this is absolutely auditory.
Okay.
You haven't gone yet, though.
Oh no.
You have your reaction.
Yeah.
This is our
Hey,
two,
a great opportunity, but no.
almost. Trey and Marius on a failure. You are both frightened 2 and paralyzed by this.
I am not
Try.
frightened.
You are not frightened, but you are
I
paralyzed.
am paralyzed, but I am not frightened.
Cami, you are absolutely overwhelmed by this screech. You are frightened 3 and paralyzed
Frightened 3.
as you are just left almost just kind of curled up, shaking your hands up at the side of your head like you're barely even here. And as she locks eyes here, screaming, she just pushes into the room. Trey, paralyzed. She slips past. Easy, she does actually have to roll. She can get around the door here. And she's going to run right through the middle of the room, just right past everybody, up to MD next to the counter. Clawing and just pushing past everything, knocking things off of tables, bumping the tables around, pushing Trey's stunned form out of the way as she barrels towards you. Marius, paralyzed. You're behind her, but you can't do much.
So she's not looking in my direction.
She's not.
In that case, I think all I can do is just be completely shocked and
You can
moving, and then do hunt prey.
you can hunt prey, I believe, paralyzed. That's just like you can still kind of focus, like that's the problem. I don't know if there's much else you can do
Yeah.
in your state. But after a few moments, you do start to come to your senses. You realize what's happening. You're no longer paralyzed.
Okay.
But Trey, as she pushes past you in the doorway,
Recall knowledge 3 times.
you can recall some knowledge, sure. What is your religion?
-1. There's nothing stopping me from doing it 3 times.
That's
Oh,
fair.
That's true. You might get something.
So you, like, looking at this as she comes through, you have dealt with a lot of ghouls, and this doesn't look like that. She doesn't have the pointed ears. Her skin's not the same. This is more.
It's very clearly undead something.
It doesn't look undead, because undead's usually pretty clear. I mean, the head injury is obviously a huge exception, but the rest of her looks intact. I mean, her eyes are white, but they're still there. She has some sense about her. This seems more akin to almost like a ghost that still has its body. It's almost closer to a possession than it is like a zombie or a ghoul or something like that. The body is still physically there and intact and almost, I mean, it's probably not alive given the injury, but it's being piloted by something else. This death and the state of it and this rage has turned it into something different. And that means that it's not traditional undead is what we're getting from that. And then a regular failure. And looking at her form, though,
given that she has been pretty bashed and clearly is still coming at you, you definitely feel like bludgeoning attacks aren't going to be terribly effective.
Can't say anything, but
Can't share it yet, but you can know that.
Oh man, the Gold Basher 9000 is no use.
Cammy, as you sit here
That's not a
completely
goal.
overwhelmed by this screech, you feel like you're not even here anymore. Like, this absolutely rattles you to your very core. Are there any fully mental actions that you can take?
So what's
Anything with
I'm like looking through my spells here.
It would
Like,
only be like a...
somatic is gonna be
Somatic is
Somatic
hands.
is
and
to
then
do things,
verbal is
verbals you have to
talking.
speak. I don't think there
So-
exists a traditional spell that you can
I
cast.
don't think so.
Not unless you had some kind of a weird focus spell or something that didn't actually take regular components.
you can give your familiar 2 actions, can't
That's
you?
true. You have like a link with your familiar. You can give 2 actions to Blue. but-
I'll save 1 action for myself to make a recall knowledge.
Okay.
And then
What's your religion modifier?
7.
You actually have one.
I do have one. And then I'll make Blue do something. He can be useful.
Overwhelmed as you are,
Oh gosh.
you barely can even tell what's going on. You can't think of anything right now, much less of what this could be or what could be useful.
I'm gonna use the other 2 actions for recall knowledge. I'm gonna keep thinking.
You're just really trying to like focus through the fog here. Be extremely consistent rolls.
Oh come
um,
on.
You can barely even with that frightened 3 you can
Oh,
barely
that is
see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the end of your turn, you are still paralyzed with fear.
Welcome to the corner. You'll be sitting there for a while.
You're the only one that she blows past you. And you're the only one that seems to be unaffected by this scream. As you can see your party reeling.
Okay. I can see Marius being a little better.
Marius definitely seems like he's fighting through it. Trey seems like he's pushing through it. Cammy definitely looks the worst.
Okay. All right. Well, just gonna start off with some good words. I'm gonna be like, well, I was kidnapped in the night, and that gave me quite a fright. It's okay. I'm used to such strife. She's not my wife, but but everything will be all right. And that's courage.
Little courage. Look at
Yeah.
his little courage.
It's a little bit of courage. Then I'm going to. She seems corporeal.
She does look like a body, yeah. She doesn't look like a ghost or anything.
Okay. Well, I am going to see a lot of objects in this room that are pretty dangerous.
You have a lot of telltale projectile opportunities for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for the most just dangerous, like a spiked maul, just
Okay.
fling it at her.
Fling of, yeah, spiked maul definitely there would be some sort of morning star or something pointy in there.
Okay. Well, it is an 8, so I might use it. No, I'll try it. 8 plus 10 is 18.
Yeah, 18 as you throw it. You're gonna see it make contact. It's gonna strike her, but she just kind of shrugs. It doesn't like it. The spikes of the maul
Wait,
punch
19?
into her skin. 19 punch in her skin a little bit, but it just kind of rolls across her and doesn't seem to phase her at all. That's not gonna hit.
Tough lady.
And MD frightened too, but able to move at least. This woman screeching, shrieking is bearing down on you.
MG's like, just, I'm stunned, staring at her. He's mouthing, he's whispering to himself, to her, I'm sorry. Bang Bang, you need to hide right now.
Bang Bang is also just absolutely
He's in
overwhelmed by
another
this. He's like kind of
universe.
curled up in like a standing fetal position here. You got some big old ears. You didn't take that very
I'm
well.
sorry, Bang Bang. I'm gonna pull out the War Razor that we stole from the Tattered Man. I'm gonna take one good swipe at her. I look like her attention's now wholly on me anyways, always. I rolled a 6 on the die. So
She is still, even paralyzed, she is still flat-footed from, just ran right into flanking. She doesn't even care. She's paying absolutely no caution.
16 total.
But 16, yeah, as you swipe at her, her ferocity is hard to get through.
And then I'm gonna move back 20 feet.
Okay.
Just to lure her away from the rest of the group.
And as you move back through the building, her focus absolutely and wholly on you. She is going to continue
to just barrel forward towards you, still just shrieking, "Murderer! Murderer!" And her hands outstretched just swipe out recklessly like claws in your direction. You are, I believe, still probably frightened 1. And I'm going to use one of my 2 will points on that first hit there because I rolled a 2. And she is going to swipe in for a 26.
That is a crit at frightened 1.
He's not wearing armor, remember?
That was armor on.
As I just like react, my back is turned to her. She gets me in the back.
And this ferocity is backed by an incredible strength from what looks like a relatively slight woman. You saw this a bit before with some of the ghouls back in the asylum without this feeling of like pain or any kind of restraint. The amount of power that can come out is incredible. And it is going to do 28 points of slashing damage. And these claws, as she connects, as she starts to rip across you, her fingers are going to tighten and grab, and you are also going to be grabbed.
I'm gonna, at that point, the pain, all this emotion coming through me, I'm gonna use my Catharsis Mage reaction, and as you're gonna hear, "Ah!" as I yell, out of this confusion, fear, everything. I forget, she has me grabbed now.
She has grabbed you.
And I've taken damage.
Yep.
So she takes, I forget, there's an amount of damage, it's a small amount of damage.
Find that.
Sorry for yelling.
And, oh, sorry for yelling. That's the thing we got.
Oh, gosh.
I will come around to Marius here as these 2 barrel towards the back of the shop, both just screaming now. As you kind of recover, still frightened, but able to move.
In my shock, I pull out my bow. I'm gonna fire off 2 shots at her. No idea what's going on, but just instinct takes over. Ooh, that's 18. Yeah, it's minus frightened, so 18.
That isn't gonna do it. These arrows is just gonna.
That definitely doesn't do it.
One of them just flies by. It's a commotion flying on the shop. The other shot from this bow does just sort of stick into her, but doesn't even seem to phase her at all.
And then, I still have 2 actions left.
2 actions. You have a quick draw.
I'll do 1 more shot. Definitely misses also. That's another 9. And I'm gonna move 10 feet toward them.
And as you push forward, Trey also coming to here.
What is a standard DC for our level?
Standard DC for level 4 would be 19.
Okay. That's what I need to make for my stance.
Fair enough.
So, moving through the room to come up right behind her, drawing my sword, and entering Dread Marshal's stance, I'll just speak out to the room,
Rend the flesh from the bones. Cut her down.
and to enter the stance, you have to make an intimidation check. Not on anyone. But
Okay.
that's
yeah.
just to enter the stance.
Please, do that.
And I will re-roll it because honestly, this card's not super great for me. So I can freely spin that and not feel bad about it.
She's a,
Natural 20. My aura jumps to 20 feet, and everybody gets damage equal to the number of dice they roll as bonus.
Ooh.
Anybody who crits inflicts frightened.
Sick. So you all get a pretty good bonus.
And I'm
here.
now standing behind her, sword drawn.
And the she's gonna take 4 damage from your cathartic mage blast.
And
4
check to get out of it too.
force damage, and you get a check to try and twist away immediately.
18 on the die, so 30 total.
30 will do it.
Critically
-1
fails.
+1, yeah.
Yeah, 30 will do it.
Yep.
You pull away from her with this force as she kind of throws her hands up, not to defend herself, but they're literally like blasted back by this wave that comes out of you as Trey rushes in. Cami still sort of frozen here. You are desperately fighting through this to overcome it, and you're just shaking. You just freeze. You don't know what to do. And you feel Blue on your shoulder just kind of crawl up. He's just like using his little mitten hands, just kind of like pinching at your cheek and at your neck, just poking and prodding at you. He crawls up around. He kind of puts both his little mittens on one of the pigtails and sort of just pulls on it. He's trying to get you out of it, but it's a fight. By the end of this round, he's able to pull you free, but you are still paralyzed for this turn.
Can I do recall knowledges?
I mean,
Or-
yeah. You've after a full round of doing it, that's probably recalled about. But you can. I'll give you another throw in there.
Okay.
I roll
This is
between
really-
8 and 12 for
Oh
all
my
of
gosh,
them. It's
come
the
on.
most consistent stuff in the world. Hey, 13. That's one higher. Still doesn't do it though.
Okay.
Which will put you.
Thank you.
Reminder to everyone: your frightened condition goes down by 1 at the end of each turn.
So I'll be
So
frightened.
you still be
one
frightened 1,
on my next
This
turn,
will come
but
around
not
to easy.
paralyzed.
but not paralyzed.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And
I'm
my
so
aura
nervous.
does also work on spells. So the number of
Okay.
Dice.
The damage dice will give you bonuses.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Well. And go ahead and be like, all right, MD wouldn't hurt a fly. He's not that kind of guy. He's a gentle giant. Any requests, you'll find him compliant. So can you leave? Bye. And that's some courage.
Courage.
And then, do I have a line of sight of her or no?
I would say you do over the counter and over Bang Bang, just kind of standing on it, like still just curled up in a little ball.
Yeah, feeling inspired from your marshal's war call, I'm gonna just get a dagger that's in the wall and just flip it and try to hit her again. Ah! 20.
Woo!
nat 20.
So then what happens?
She's now frightened 1. If that's a nat 20, she's frightened 1.
She
Yeah.
would be
Oh
frightened
my
one.
gosh! Oh my gosh!
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of? So you're throwing a dagger. What kind of damage are you trying to do here?
I mean, it's a dagger, so it's just like
Just pointy.
pointy damage.
Fair enough. Pointy damage.
Yeah, I just said just slashing, piercing. I said don't do bludgeoning, basically.
Fair enough.
So-
Give me your crit damage, sir.
Yeah, so it's 2d6, and then
2d6
double.
plus your courage. And it's an attack roll too, so
Whoa.
you get all this stuff.
Okay, 2 and a 5, that's 7. So 14 plus 2. Is it 16?
16. As it hits.
And my
you-
damage bonus is status as well, so they don't stack.
Yeah, you would feel as it hits her. You see it stick in, and you see her recoil a bit from the hit. It's a solid hit. It's a crit. But that dagger stabbing into her. The problem is the pain's not stopping her. Injury's not slowing her down. The only thing that seems like it will work is physically stopping her. And piercing damage is this dagger's now sticking out of her back, and it's not phasing her at all. Piercing damage isn't going to be that effective either.
Okay.
MD.
MD, I turn around. This knife still in my hand. I just give one big slash at her. I'm not even aiming at this point.
Oh, you rolled a 20. You have a bless.
We almost forgot.
I
It's-
forgot.
no,
I
the
forgot.
green,
That's
the green,
Bane.
green,
That's
green,
Bane.
green.
That's Bane.
Green is a good one.
Put it away.
You get the green and whatever the
So
spell.
there's gonna be some categories on there. One of them probably says piercing, or one of them says range.
It should be spell.
or
There is bomb or
spell.
spell. There's also piercing.
Did
Should I read
okay.
both? Or do
Don't have you read them yet?
No.
Do you want piercing or spell?
Spell.
Spell.
Good
Okay.
choice.
Protective Charm. You gain +2 status bonus to AC and all saving throws. Okay.
Does
Well-
it say for how long?
Until the end of your next turn.
Okay.
I mean,
So
I'd
this-
rather it go to you. I'm probably gonna take no damage.
That
in
one,
this fight.
yes. As this magic kind of washes back the energy from this projectile, almost like a wave of force in front of you, kind of shielding you. It's going to be good if she screams again, that's for sure.
Oh,
But you will be bolstered by this for a
I'm
round.
feeling pretty good.
MD.
Yeah, MD is holding his head, just swinging wildly. 16 on the die.
Okay, she's friend one.
And
So-
flanked.
And flanked.
27.
27 absolutely hits.
That's if you say
27
no,
doesn't hit.
the fight's
flat-footed
over.
flanked. We're done here,
Did
boys.
you
Wrap
say
it up.
The razor was striking or not? Did we ever determine that?
I believe the razor was striking, yeah.
Okay.
Striking is D4, but it's
a-
striking.
Backstab.
And it's backstabber. 3, 6, 10, 12.
An extra 2 from me.
An extra 2 from you, 14, and then backstabber 15.
15 damage.
15 damage.
Now this razor slashing through her flesh seems to be quite effective. She is still a body that needs to move, and cutting through muscle and tendon is going to be enough to debilitate her to actually physically stop her from attacking you. She does not resist the slashing of the razor.
And kind of losing my senses, the blood dripping off. I let out a little incantation. The blood dripping off kind of stops midair and coalesces into points. And I'm going to use my last 2 actions for magic missile into her.
Okay.
Good.
So it's 2d4 plus 1 force damage each. So that's a 4 on one, a 2 on the other. Does this
No attack roll.
Not
no attack roll? But there is Inspire Courage.
Yeah, so you get a +1 from him. Mine is specifically on attack rolls.
Yeah,
Yes, you get
so
plus
plus 1
1.
from him. So
Mine's very odd.
9 total?
4, 2, plus 2.
Plus 1, 9.
Yeah.
All right. She takes these hits, these missiles, droplets of blood blasting into her. As you wrench yourself from her grip, she immediately, still screaming and seething, not even paying the remotest bit of attention to the rest of the party. She is completely and utterly focused on you. Get that later. That's why I have 50 d20s back here. That's going to be a... it's going to be higher than the first one. I rolled too higher. So, 27
You could re-roll it.
to hit. I could. It's a villain point it.
Funny, it's
I
still
think you
exactly
should.
a crit.
I guess, yeah, because the Frighten brought it down. It'll be a bit lower this time, 20 points
20.
of slashing damage.
Mm-hmm.
And again, she is just going to grab a hold of you as she's just ripping and clawing. And as she sinks her claws into you, as she does grab onto you, you feel her claws punch and dig deeper. Like she's just squeezing and gripping in, like she's trying to claw your organs out of your body, like she's trying to get into your bones. She's trying to rip you apart. I need you to make me a fortitude save.
Not the bones.
Those are my bones, though.
You got weak bones.
I got weak bones.
Oh boy.
11.
11's going to critically fail.
Instant death.
Is this an auditory vision?
That you are visually seeing and happen.
Yeah, you can watch it. That's this visual component for you, for sure. You're going to take 24 points of bludgeoning damage as her hands just crush into you.
You see MD go slack.
I'm gonna use a reaction and take 6 of that damage. As that's blessed sacrifice.
Okay. You take
Do you not go down
18
now?
points of
No,
bludgeoning
I'm going
damage.
down. no
Oh,
matter
come
what.
on.
Oh, but
you
you also
see-
take 6.
Okay, okay.
You
As
see
you recover and
MD
see this.
fall slack, and he hears Cami wince. As his head drops down, he just looks back up. Here's my reaction for Orcish ferocity.
She hurt the baby. Nobody
hurt
hurts
the
the
baby.
baby.
Oh no! Oh!
Historically, people die very quickly after this.
I forgot you had the orcish ferocity thing. I was like, oh my gosh.
But you see her get a hold of him, and you see the strength, how fierce she is. You see him waver. You immediately jump in with that spell. You take some hits. You feel claws punching and crushing into your chest, into your side. The organ's still going to take 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
And you are wounded 1. But as she keeps this hold on you, Marius.
Trey, how tall are you?
6'4".
Okay.
Because of where I am, I provide soft cover.
Yeah.
Unless you have the thing that bypasses cover.
I'm going to try to quickly run up to the side and kind of like jump up on the table between her and the wall.
Okay.
And seeing, I'm gonna put the bow away first. And kind of seeing what she's done to MD. I want to kind of just jump and kind of shove her away.
Try and separate them.
Yeah.
All right. Give me an athletics check.
You don't actually have to put the bow away.
Yeah, you
for
can
that.
keep your bow in. You can keep your hand out, but I assume he's going to go for stabby time.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna re-roll that.
Wait for that. Keep it.
Exactly the same.
6 point.
Fixed
6
point.
point of time.
For math, 15.
Yeah, 15.
16, right? Is that ability checks? Yeah.
15. I mean, shoves an attack roll, so you still
Okay.
get that. Doesn't critically fail because of the Inspire Courage. As
You
you
could do it again.
try, she is attached. 100% of her whole being is dedicated to killing him.
I'm going to. I'm going to just step back and try again.
Give me another attack roll. -5, but give me another shove attempt.
That's probably going to be about one less. So 11 plus 8 is 19 minus 5. So another.
As you try to push down her a second time, as she's just completely latched on to MD here. She just swings around back at you with her shoulder, knocking you down on the table with that critical failure amongst the pile of just crap in the back of the shop here. What looks like just a slew of mugs and weird wrapped meats and things that Bang Bang was eating or working on, tools he couldn't be bothered to put away.
I just want to comment on the futility now of that. The card I used to re-roll that got me absolutely no benefit was if I got knocked prone. I could.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna be knocked
The
prone.
card put you
I had
here.
the exact same thing happen because the one I spent was to avoid being frightened.
Oh, right.
I think you know what I have to do. I'm a fighter, and I'm in flanking. No special tricks, no special antics. I'm about to roll this dice 3 times.
As you go to roll that
please,
handsome
please, please.
ganker, MD for scaring the hell out of me with that scream earlier. Great amount of emotion. Please don't die. Take a hero point.
I'm literally shaking right now. You can't tell because I'm. I hope this
This is
works.
a notorious fight in Strange Aeons for its lethality.
I hope this works. I can't believe that worked.
Oh, that's the name.
Yeah, that's the card.
Oh my gosh.
All
Roll
right.
high.
Attack number 1.
Second edition did not make this monster any less lethal.
So that's a 29 against flanking.
That will hit.
Not frightened.
She's not frightened anymore.
No,
Her
that
turn-
passed.
Her turn
Yep.
went by.
All right.
And you hadn't hit her last turn.
Yeah. So that's 1.
Wish just going for it.
So 14 will be 23.
That'll hit. It's 2.
And then we're swinging this
Spider-Man.
one at a +3
Oh my gosh.
for an 18. Or, sorry, 16.
Third one's not going to get it. But 2 swings, you're still wielding Red Destiny, right?
Yeah.
This red sword you'd found back in the asylum. 2 swings of Red Destiny, just laying into her back, because she almost makes no attempt to avoid you. Like, she just doesn't care.
Is +6. So 17 on the first one.
Solid.
And then 17. As I just start hacking away.
2 big hits. And Cami, as you finally come to, Blue, tugging, pinching, desperately trying to get your attention in the fight here. He crawls up one of your braids around to your face and puts one of his little mitten hands open on your eye. And you were just sitting there just trying to think of what you can even do with this creature, what you can do about this, what you're even facing. And you get a burst of insight from Blue here. This is a cursed kind of afterlife, what this woman has become. This is something nobody wants, just driven by absolute hate and vengeance. And seeing herself in this state could be literally crippling to her.
Oh, okay. Okay. Would Easy have told us about the hat?
Have you told him about the hat the moment you were what bit you were outside?
I imagine I put it on. I was like,
Yeah, I figure you guys probably shared most of your intel. I mean, I don't think Marius has shared a ton about his night, but
Marius' night out.
I mean, you could just share that and then do your turn if you don't have a way to do anything with it.
Well, additionally, I was going to ask, because it's a weapons shop, is there anything reflective? I mean,
there's a lot of metal. There are a lot of like wide-headed axes. Bang Bang's not one for polish and clean, but there is still a lot of metal, and there's a lot of like metal sheets in the back around too. And it looks like he just lives in the back of the shop where this fight is going. And there is like a little just bucket on the ground serving as a wash basin with a little mirror just kind of hung up above it, right behind him.
Yep, I'm running for the mirror, and as I'm passing by, I'm going to relay to Easy's. So it's blue. It's pinky now. But he told me that if she sees herself, that it'll be bad. So you have the hat that could maybe do so. Anyways, I gotta grab this real quick. And I'm gonna grab that mirror. And can I get all the way over?
Yeah, you can just run up right next to Marius and just reach out and grab it off of the wall there behind the counter. The back is more storage, just kind of like right. You're only going just like right past the counter and Bang Bang here. And what are you doing?
I'm gonna grab the mirror, and if I can get over to her, then I'm gonna poke her in the back, and I'm just gonna hold it up.
You just kind of desperately try to jump.
I'll be like, hey, stop it, leave it alone, look over here.
And she, as she's focused on MD, catches a glimpse, like the flash of the light from you just jumping up and down trying to get this up, and looks down at the mirror and sees her own reflection. And she is going to make a will save.
Yeah.
She is going to get a regular success. She's going to get 27. As she looks down at that, she pauses for a moment and reaches down, snatching at the mirror. And just grabs it out of your hand.
Okay, I'll let her have it, yeah.
And just staring into it. She's still got one hand sunk into MD, the other just staring at the mirror. And she is just frozen. You have one action left.
Oh, I still have an action. I'm gonna lay on hands MD.
6 health, 2 AC.
Mm-hmm.
12 health, 2 AC. Right, we're level 4 now.
2 AC is what matters.
They both matter. They both matter.
Oh my gosh.
Lucky number.
Easy.
okay, so I just heard a lot from Cami. It seemed like it worked. So I'm just going to be like, all right, well, hey, AMD, we aren't who we used to be, so please get better. This is a verbal get well letter. People change, you'll see. Not as soothe. I am soothing you.
Her hands are still inside him.
The flesh is going to heal around the fingers.
Heal around her hands.
Oh, you know, like when you get post-surgery stitches removed, and you can feel them like tugging on the flesh when it grows.
Never had that happen, but it sounds horrible.
It's not
anyway.
fun.
So
please roll anything that makes Nerf stop talking.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's +4.
+4, so then that's 7 and 2, so
Oh, +8
9.
if it's a second level spell.
+4 per die.
Yeah,
Well,
+4 per die.
+4 per die. Okay, so yeah, 8 plus 9 is
17.
17. And +2 bonus for saves against mental effects.
So you got a mental effect bonus, which is the screaming. You got AC, which is the murder. You got 29 health,
Fire powers combined.
Which is
with
one
Voltron.
crit.
which is... She hasn't critted that hard yet.
It's been close.
28.
That'll take one.
That's fair. You got one action.
Well, I'm just be
It's
like,
gonna be
well,
fine.
piercing's no good. no good. And bludgeoning's not the mood. So hit her with a slash. Like, with a bladed lash. We got this, dude. And that's courage.
I need it. Indeed.
Her arm, her MD. I'm not even making an attempt to get away from her. I just grab her by the wrist and just start hacking at her with the razor. First attack, 7 on the die, 18 plus 1, 19.
Nope. I'm going to do it.
Second attack, 8 on the die.
He's swinging, but she's got a hold of you, and you're cutting. Your razor's absolutely hitting and cutting, but
I know
It's-
it's already passed, but can I use this on the first attack?
Oh, I don't want to rewind. I hate rewinds.
I know. I know. That doesn't hurt. I'll use it on the second attack.
I
then.
will use it as a reroll.
Yeah.
I'll let
as a
you
reroll.
roll it. Okay, I thought I was gonna do some crazy
He's
stuff.
having a hard
I'll
day.
let you burn as a reroll.
He's having
Yeah.
a really bad day.
19 on the die. So
Went up a lot.
30 total against her flat-footed. No, 31 total against her flat-footed.
31 will crit.
Yes.
Does that still happen?
Does that?
Oh, it's
Has to be
38.
She's
Has to be
frightened.
an at 20.
Frightened one. That's for Blessed Bane.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh,
my
yes,
effect
that's
is
fair.
just on a crit.
Yeah. So
So now she's
scared.
frightened 1. It doesn't matter because it immediately is her turn. But
It does matter because it's gonna lower her attack rolls.
true, actually.
All right, so
Oh no, I hit her.
Oh, it's not gonna go
This
down.
isn't gonna go
Once you
down.
slash.
okay. So we do
It
this
stays.
first. 5, 9, 12, 24,
Woo!
plus another 7 because it's backstabber,
Plus 4
Ooh!
or because it's deadly D8, plus 4,
from me because you
From
crit.
her.
It's
That's
2 and it
pretty
becomes
good.
4.
24, 28, 35,
35,
plus backstabber,
36,
36.
37 because it's striking. It's 1 per damage die, right?
Yes.
37. 37's a pretty good crit.
I always thought Backstabber was useless, but look at us.
It's doing stuff.
It's got 3 total
attack.
damage.
Third attack. He's
Nice.
just swinging for the fences.
Natural 20.
Hey!
Ooh!
So
Do it
Once
again!
again!
It's a total of 24. So
That's still good enough.
5, 8, 12, 24, 29,
33.
33, then
35.
35. If I murdered you, stay
With that,
murdered.
You just hacking at this hand that's holding on to you with your razor. Literally swing by swing by swing. Hear the snap as the bone in her forearm gives out. She's not responding to pain, but she is still just the body that she is. And the arm clawed into you drops limp and falls to the floor as you just cut right through it, just below the elbow. You're no longer grabbed as she's even still, as this happens, just staring into the mirror that Cami has handed her. And between this attack and Red Destiny's swings just ripping apart her back, she is barely still standing. Murder! And she throw the mirror on the ground and just stomp on it. And you hear the glass breaking. She's going to spend her first action in just a frenzy, just bashing this mirror into the floor.
Don't. She's gonna do that to you.
Before-
Don't use that.
Before she turns back to MD, still reaching up with this just stomp of an elbow in her other hand. Murderer! Just
Hey, she's got versatile damage now.
swinging, screaming towards you. Frightened 1. 28. It's a hit.
Doesn't crit.
Doesn't.
Lay on hands.
I'm gonna play with the ability on my hero point
What do you
to
got?
give a creature I can see resistance 5 to all damage until the start of my next turn.
5 resistance
That's a good
to
one.
this slash.
Okay.
So you're going
Oh
to
my
take
gosh.
5 less. She's going to do a total of 12 after that.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, if
And then-
even without the soothe, would still be up right now.
As she just swipes, you need the lay on hands for the not crit. Because that would have been 34.
Oh gosh,
that
yeah,
would have been
because you have a
34
+2.
without the lay on hands
Yep.
and the card. Just bashing and swiping with her claws, just still screeching. You see tears in her eyes as she is ripping her own hands apart, just trying to tear you to pieces. One last desperate swing on a -4, 17.
Does not hit. This is some miracle.
And she just,
A literal miracle.
Oh my gosh. No.
I have
No.
one.
Don't. Why?
Might as well.
I thought
Why
I
would
was
you
out.
do that?
I had 2. I have 1 more.
Why would you do that?
That is a natural 1.
Ooh, some miracle.
There's no camera I can put this on, but that is... Arcadis can see it.
Oh my gosh.
Natural 1 as she reaches out with this hand you've hacked free, and this stump just loosely kind of batters into you. Marius.
Well, I'm gonna just tell you what I want to do, and you can tell me if I can try to do that.
I'll
Well,
figure
first I gotta
something out.
stand up.
Standing up, step 1.
Yeah. And what I want to try to do is to either grapple or shove her, with the aim of trying to get her into the furnace.
You've okay. You've got. You need to step down off the table to get a better angle here, so you can push her straight back into it. But then it is going to just be an athletics check as your third action, as Marius just tries to barrel her into. Yeah, this is not like a fireplace. This is like a little foundry that he's got in his house because Bang Bang is not smart, and it's.
That's a 16.
16. He's
17.
17. Marius is trying, but this like raw physical strength is not a strong suit here. Trey.
Which it should be.
End the abomination.
And I'm gonna keep cutting. That will miss because that's a 3 on the die. And then that is a 15, 13, 21 into flanking, frightened 1.
21 to flanking, frightened 1 will do it.
And then third attack is not gonna connect because that's a 17.
With this last hit here, as MD hacks their arm and she just flails at him, and Trey lays into her backside. How do you win this?
Does she have like 3 health? Because I
She's
rolled
got-
really low.
She's got 8.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I just assumed you couldn't do less than that, but here we are.
They are D8s. I mean, I
That's
could
fair.
roll a 1 and a 2.
Oh my gosh.
How do you win this?
Oh my gosh.
Go team.
This entire time has just been rushing to cut her down and make sure that she can't start laying into his unconscious body. There is no particular cut that notices it because it doesn't stop cutting until the body is prone and nearly cleaved in half.
And as the body falls, MD falls to his knees and catches it as well. And you hear him softly whispering, "I'm sorry."
And
I'm
as
sorry.
Trey has hacked her apart, hacked through her spine, so her body collapses. Her legs, so she can no longer stand. Even still, her body tatters. The hand still claws at you as you hold her. And just in this pile of dead flesh cut to ribbons.
Sorry.
And slowly it just stops. No power left in the body to move it anymore.
Well, that's an interesting way for the past to haunt you.
Ah! Why you bring the Bang Bang?
Wasn't us, Bang Bang.
You bring that thing to Bang Bang store.
And just-
Bang Bang don't even want money. Just take Pointy Stick and leave. Leave Bang Bang alone.
Works for me.
And I will sheath Red Destiny and then drag the body and grab the pike on the way out.
gonna carry the body.
I'll let you carry it.
Does her
Arms.
body appear to be like fresh corpse or like
It looks like
undead?
she's been dead for a while.
Not quite snackable.
I mean, it's anything snackable, but she certainly was dead for long before she came here.
Okay.
You carry the body of this victim out of Bang Bang Smithy and into the street. MD carrying it. What do you guys do?
I'm going to the church.
Follow MD.
As we're walking out, what did the door, like what was making the door broken?
The frame's kind of broken and it gets stuck.
Could I use my improvised tool to try to just like knock it into
Absolutely.
shape?
You want to give me just a crafting check?
Yeah.
It's not like it's super hard.
Natural 20.
Literally just goes up, bumps it.
This is where you drop the 20? Like, this is the moment?
Are you serious?
I almost died.
You, you come around on your way out. You stop and just improvise something. There's a bunch of wood cutting hatchets and tools. Like, what do you do?
I'm imagining I basically.
Yeah,
just,
Tony,
like,
tell me whatever story you want to tell me. Man.
Pick up like a hammer or just something kind of heavyish, and it's gonna like hit the frame, and then just like
Just-
calmly close the door. Sorry about the mess.
I just immediately the whole frame just boop, back into shape as he taps it, and the door just closes quietly.
Sorry for the mess. Fixes door. Doesn't elaborate.
And he's blood all over the back of Bang Bang
A
Smithy.
lot of blood.
To a goblin, that's a tip.
Did
You
we get
had-
change on the payment?
You head
Didn't
back
even pay.
towards New Chapel, just carrying this mud-caked, absolutely decimated corpse through the streets. You definitely get some looks. You certainly get some weird eyes, but it's not far. And before long, you arrive back at the same cemetery you'd been in the morning.
Before we walk in, I'm just gonna give you the hat, and we'll be like, "You're kind of like on watch in this part of town.
Yeah,
So just
not a bad idea.
just put this on.
Okay.
It's a loan.
Maybe a good will for you, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sandfox 10, for that one.
Thanks, Boxton. Thanks.
What does it look like?
It looks so. This what I don't know. What does it look like, Marius?
So you said that the hat is it makes you take, or like the clothes take the appearance of whatever you're
It's-
thinking of.
What does Marius do with this hat? You get a hand to you. You got a brief story you heard about what happened when Reese put it on.
Gives you a dress.
What do you
And
do?
beautiful golden hair.
Yeah.
I've heard the
Blush.
story, and I think I'm still a little kind of confused. There's a lot going on, and so I'm probably keeping like the face wrap on and just kind of like put it on, assuming mostly just to like shade myself a little bit more, kind of just continue to obfuscate things. So
What are you thinking about when you put it on? Anything in particular?
I guess I'd be thinking about I'd probably be thinking about like just a random civilian, the people who are possibly watching us. So kind of somebody in normal-ish clothes, maybe someone who appears to be in slightly more armor, because they'd be the ones I'd be a little bit more worried about.
That's fair.
Um,
There's a lot of people that wear like simple like leather jerkins and things around just in case. Not a lot of people that wear much heavier than like a chain.
Yeah.
But you
and besides that, I'm probably thinking about the body still, but I think I'm more worried about like appearances and the people around
as
me
you
right
think of
now.
that and you put the hat on, Marius, looking at just it looks like it's probably a dock worker or on his break, or I mean it's getting late in the afternoon by now, coming home for the evening. Done up with some a little bit of heavier leather protector, especially pauldrons. So it looks like so we can port a lot of things around. You would see Marius's entire outfit change to be near identical to what that man is wearing, and even more than that, Marius himself, as he puts the hat on, rises upward. His body kind of growing, elongating a little. His face even changing to something sort of between his and that guy's. This rot, this ghoulish flesh giving way to just clear skin. His beard disappearing entirely, his hair color changing.
Looking good. Get you a new name too if you want.
He doesn't even look like a dwarf anymore.
This is quite the interesting hat you've got here.
Thanks. Had a good night.
Thank
And-
you. I'll find a way to repay you.
Nah,
From Chef, ZJSA, MD, because he didn't die to that thing. That is a very...
AJ said he made a very hard to kill character.
It's a very lethal encounter.
See, he made it very hard to kill characters, except for the one encounter that is designed to kill one character.
Hey, he had ferocity, and that did work. Got a lot of extra damage on the board and give them one less turn of ripping you apart, which could have definitely made a difference.
Warding sign. Quick, draw a butterfly.
As you the group of you head back up towards the church. We had the church, the graveyard, I assume,
Yeah.
into
even
the
know.
cemetery back behind New Chapel, right across from your cottage as the sun starts to sink down towards the horizon. What do you do?
At this point, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just going through motions that I think are right. I don't know how to inter a body. I don't know where winter is. I don't want to go look for her. I just kind of want to be here thinking.
What about the rest of you? He clearly looks lost, but what do you do?
So like,
Go looking for a shovel.
There's the. I don't. It's uncomfortable to talk about, but you know, if you, in an effort to try to make myself safer around all of you, there are uncomfortable, you know, truths that I might have to face, and in this case, it might be easier for everybody if you just let me take the body somewhere else myself.
Does anyone know how to build a coffin?
I'm sure I could figure it out.
There were supplies inside the church. I remember that.
You would know with that key that you found in the morning, you can get into the groundskeeper's entrance to New Chapel, and in addition to shovels and basic tools in there, there actually would be a couple of caskets, just simple plain ones for the nameless bodies that have to be interred. Those without friends or family or any proper burials or connections. There's something.
I'm sorry, Marius. Not this one.
So
I'm gonna lay the body down. Trey, can you help me?
Not a problem.
Get a casket, and I just look to the others like, you guys can go back and sleep. I'll be here.
No, I'll
we
stay
can
out
wait.
here.
I can still help, but got some crafting skills.
do they have any like funeral bagpipes or something?
There would be
Funeral tuba.
like a small section of
It's a Phrasman.
little sets of candles. There would be several unmarked headstones along with the coffins. A lot of symbols of Pharasma as well, just loose icons carved from stone. But beyond that, nothing much. You've seen Winter by now perform the rites quite a few times, and though hers are exceedingly extensive, given her upbringing, you know the general idea.
Is there like books of Pharasma that we just like read off a prayer book or something?
Probably somewhere within the church, but those wouldn't be back in the groundskeeping area.
Do you think you knew her name?
I don't remember anything.
You think you just immediately, that's like the response that comes out of your mouth, right? Like, I don't know. But then you do. It was Kleina Murik. She was a sleepless agent. And you found her snooping around the manor.
What'd you say that was?
Kleina Murik.
Kinda?
Since you guys kind of seemed like you just want to take her away, and it might be better if I'm separated from the body a little bit, I'll take one of those unmarked, or one of the like uncarved headstones, and try to carve her name into it.
There would certainly be chisels and tools in there for you to do that.
And
After some time and the amount of work from near everyone here, you would have a grave lined up well enough where it seems like it should go in the cemetery, and a headstone with a simply carved epitaph, little more than a title. And you'd lay her down, and you'd cover it back up. Bury her to rest as she should have been who knows how long ago. It's the best you can do now.
Well, I just look at Cami. We've all done things in our past, and they're gonna come back and get us.
Yeah, unrelated. If someone with no tongue shows up and is looking undead-like and wants to kill me, honestly, there's a reason for it, but
I will fight to the death for you.
You
So,
two
yeah.
are
We're
making
not-
me feel a whole lot better.
we're not alone in this.
Am I the only one who just ripped people off?
I people's tongue off.
I think in the
didn't
morning
kill that guy.
But, you know, blood loss. I don't know what happened
I
after.
need to go talk to the Sleepless Agency.
By the time you're done digging,
Hey, they're sleepless. Don't you say it.
reburying,
Don't you say it's too late to go. It's the
I mean,
sleepless
the sun
agency.
would
It's
well,
24
the
hours.
sun would well
24/7,
be
no
down.
sleep.
It would be quite late, near an hour past sunset. You could go if you wanted, but it may be wiser to.
That's in the
Visit in the
morning.
morning.
First thing. in
Can't
the morning.
believe that they would put that on their sign.
They didn't have hours out in front of the door.
Your cottage is, fortunately, right there. So it's a very short journey back to your temporary home for now.
Marius, if you do slip out in the night, be careful.
Yeah, I'll be staying in tonight, but yes, I'll be careful in the future.
And this time properly, the group of you can lay down. The group of you can rest and sleep. All of you here can rest in this cottage as well as you can. The problem in the asylum was the constant threat of death, the dreams, the nightmares. You were never safe. The problem now is, well, trying to live with what it seems like most, if not all of you have done. But exhaustion is a powerful thing. And sleep you certainly would.
I'm technically fatigued. After the catharsis, after 4 rounds, you get fatigued.
Well, good news, you're going to bed. So, you're going to be very asleep. And you'll awake in the morning, warm and safe, in your little cottage, like nothing had ever happened. But Cami, when you awake in the morning, you feel off. Your mouth is weirdly dry and feels kind of hard to think. You're still tired. You slept well. It's not, I need to sleep tired. It's just fatigue. And you literally are. You are fatigued
Oh.
when you awake in the morning. And you are desperately craving something to help with that edge. You are suffering from withdrawal symptoms for
Oh
Pesh.
my gosh, I forgot.
Because that save you made, you rolled like a 2? That was an addiction save.
Oh no.
Cammy is addicted to Pesh.
This surprises
Can
no
I
one.
go to? Is there an AA meeting?
Go to the
And
Pesh
she
market.
is
Just got out of rehab.
No, I can't
Certainly-
go back there.
certainly starting to feel the effects.
I don't need this right now. I've got a lot on my plate.
We do have a lot that we still need to tend to. The Sleepless Agency did give us some direction. Lady Rance asked us to look into something. We haven't even had the chance. Trey met with one of his former friends, it seems, that could give you all possibly some more information.
Stood up your date.
Yeah.
He'll be
Burying a body,
Children.
a little more important than a date.
he seems like he's there pretty often. I don't think it'll be hard to catch him.
Literally can walk in and say, sorry, I had to bury a body. And he'll be like, oh, cool.
He's probably just like, oh, that's you, man. That's so you, Uggs. But, of course, that's not even to speak of everything else that you seem to be involved in. Some level of directly, in some cases, or accessories to. The guard being gone, whatever's happening in Fort Halicourse, whatever's happened to the Count and his estate. There's a lot wrong in Thrushmore. And when we return next week, we'll look further into it. We've got a lot more ahead of us and a lot more coming for you guys every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, here at twitch.tv/UGT show. But if you want some more of our Pathfinder before that, we've got a couple of options. First of all, Monday, just 2 days from now, we've got our late night show. Starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, starts an hour after this one ends.
an hour after right now, same channel, we're playing through Malevolence, and I think we're getting pretty close to the end of that particular
Very,
adventure.
very
We
close to the end.
We are real deep in Zarwin Manor at the moment, and the Newman family is got about every possible problem under the sun standing between them and, maybe actually getting to leave here someday. Definitely still somewhat including each other. We're functional. We promise. Me and Sully here change seats. She's running that one. I'm a player. We didn't on purpose make all of our current campaigns spooky horror things that just sort of happened. Look, we got type. Okay, we know what we're into.
Yep,
we know what
man.
we're about here. But also, we have fairly recently gotten back into and completely reformatted our Patreon. So everyone that supported us over there, that's given us the memes like Salsar Todd on Age of Ashes, thank you all so much. We got some real content for any Patreon supporters now. It's super streamlined, only one tier at $5, and gives you access to what we're here going to be doing in about 5 minutes, which is our post show. We sit down, it's kind of like the pre-show, just after. We talk about the episode that just happened, talk about big moments, highlights, thoughts, predictions, or we just go nuts about Pepto-Bismol. I mean, anything's possible, really. It's a wasteland. And all of our supporters on Patreon get to see those for all of our shows now. And speaking of things that have been revitalized, our podcast is back as well. So, you should be able to look us up, Undeniably Good Time, the UGT show, on pretty much any podcast network that you would want to, and you'll find us. You'll find all of our old podcasts going all the way back to the beginning of Age of Ashes, what feels like 10,000 years ago. You'll find Strange Aeons Chapter 2. You'll find all the UGT content going forward, nice and sorted into its own little playlisting category. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thank you for being here. Stay safe. Stay sane. We'll see you next week.